Expected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Don't miss the latest episode of the Blue Review with me, Greg Bergman, and Marcus Grant, talking all things Dodger baseball. Be part of the ESPN LA Blue Crew, 6:30 a.m. on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the?
Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto.
Nice. Who's that?
New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now.
Wait, we're famous?
Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Here we go. Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr, Sweet Tea Travis Rogers. The DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show is on for your Thursday, August 13th.
I'm a chivato.
Well, a special edition today, live from Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Yes, the fantasy football face-off. The one and only fantasy expert from NFL Network, Marcus Grant, is here today, along with Travis and producer Laura, live from Morongo, for a very special fantasy football event. Yes, we'll talk fantasy football. We'll talk Rams season on the horizon. Preseason game 1 Saturday against the Chiefs. And, of course, Dodgers baseball. Should the Royals have said something to Freddie last night when he fell into the dugout? And, of course, we'll continue to unpack the Lakers being sold. All of that live from the fantasy football face-off.
Oh. Why don't you shut up? You're just the sidekick here.
Travis Rogers, Marcus Grant, a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show here Thursday afternoon, live from Morongo right now.
Yeah. Woo! Live from Morongo indeed. You got a chance to win some prizes at the end of the day today, Marcus, if you're part of the fantasy football showdown that we got going on a little bit after the show tonight, so it should be pretty good. I'm going to lean heavily on you on all of my fantasy football drafting and everything else, because I am to say that I am green doesn't even begin to cover it.
Okay, that's what I'm here for. I would say part of what I have learned doing this, for the NFL especially, is that you have to talk to a wide range of people. Like, you get the hardcore, like, I'm digging in all the stats. I can tell you all about yards per route run and wins above, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I also have talked to people who I'm just in my office league and I just don't want to look like a jerk. So I have to, I have to learn to talk to that wide range of people.
I am firmly in camp 2. Yeah, firmly established in camp 2. I just want to be able to represent myself reasonably well. I don't need to win. I don't need to do anything other than just have people not look at me like, what is he doing?
Why'd you do that?
What is he doing? Give me one tip. What is the one thing I want to avoid? Give me something just that I can use and inform my picks.
You can wait to get a quarterback. You don't have to get a quarterback early.
Running backs first?
Running backs generally first. Wide receivers kind of heavy in the middle.
Okay.
And you can wait till you can wait till 8th, 9th round to get a quarterback.
Sua said something to me the other day, and Sua's super into fantasy, that the Rams' defense might be a wise early pick. Is he doing what he does on the golf course and just telling lies, or is that a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what he means by early. Generally, you don't have to pick your defense until one of the last couple of rounds.
That's what I kind of sort of remember from the handful of times that I've done. See, Sua, you never trust Sua. my general takeaway on this is never trust Sua because he's always operating in the margins.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that at the end of the last segment, right? Super Crosstalk, where he finally sort of kind of admitted, maybe I hit the flag
I really can't explain to you how demoralizing it was to see, and exciting at the same time, because we're at this incredible golf course. Riviera Country Club has hosted the LA Open. I think it's called the Genesis Invitational now, and just, forever and ever and ever. And anybody that's ever played golf has played this golf course. And Sue was very excited to play it. I'm very excited to play it. We're playing it with a listener. It was a great day. And this hole is uphill into a sea breeze on a cold day. The ball does not fly very far, right? This man steps up and pipes one, and it's so far, like, I don't see particularly well, and so I can follow the ball through the air for maybe about 100 yards, and then I lose it. Mm-hmm. And so I lose it, and everybody's kind of staring at it, and all of a sudden you just hear, whack! And I'm like, that hit the stick, didn't it? And sure enough, it hit the stick. And he's like, yeah, I think I did. I'm like, just shut up. Let's just go finish this thing out. So that's how he rolls.
I wish. I'm not. Here's the thing. I am not good enough at golf to be upset about being bad at golf. That's where I am.
But that's exactly where you want to be. Those are the guys that are most fun to play with, people that aren't sweating it out too much along the way. What an incredible event I got to attend earlier today. And I say that not to humble brag, but to just Laura, you and I have gotten to know each other pretty well over the last, couple of years doing this together. There's rarely times in your life where you're just kind of sitting back and going, this is awesome. This is really, really awesome. And I couldn't wait to tell you guys about it. I couldn't wait to tell,
I couldn't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, it just, like all of a sudden, You're in a room with people that you've looked up to your entire life, mm-hmm. and that you admire for, a million different reasons. But these are the guys that when you're, the sports heroes that you have when you're, 13, 14 years old, they're gods, right? Mm-hmm. They don't seem like real people. They seem like they're operating on some higher plane
right.
that you're never going to ever interact with. And athletically they are. But then all of a sudden, fast forward a few years later, you're in a room, you're having a cup of coffee, you're talking with these people, and I turn around like, well, there's Dave Roberts. Well, that's Clayton Kershaw.
That's awesome.
And well, hey, Bob Costas, nice to see you again. How you doing? And next thing you know, they're telling stories about the 1988 World Series, and they're telling, just good to see you. I remember this time and that time, and I am just a fly on the wall, just soaking this whole thing in, enjoying every single second of it, and saying to myself, what in the world am I doing in this room?
I mean, these are. I think when we get into this industry and we do this job, these are the things that people think we just do every day.
No,
and
not
it's
like this.
It's not, and it's just when you have those moments that even when you've done this job or you've been in this industry for a while, it's fun to have those moments where you are just a fly on the wall. You just get to watch all these other people in their element, and for you, for me, for all of us, it's just fun to just kind of soak it all in a little bit,
And it was fun to get to hear everybody. Like Kershaw spoke, Dave Roberts spoke, Jaime Jarrín spoke, Bob Costas spoke, and I think that was and Oral, of course, spoke as well. And everybody just speaking about Oral and what they mean to him, and that these guys come out and spend their morning doing that when I'm sure there are lots of other things that they need to get done on any given day, but that they decide that this is what I'm going to go do. It was amazing. And the entire Dodger broadcast, Joe Davis was the other person that spoke. The Dodger broadcast team was out there, Dodger executives, and people that you watch all the time. Old player Mickey Hatcher was out there, Dave Anderson, who
Miguel
I mentioned.
Rojas was there, right?
Miguel Rojas was there. Got a chance to say hello to him. We've done a couple of Legends Attic events with him. He's incredible.
He's great.
This is no breaking news here. People really love the Dodgers.
Shocking.
Yeah, I mean, but
they showed up, right?
They showed up, and the chants, and every time Dave would take a breath between one sentence to the next, it was 3-peat. And it's like, my goodness, man, the pressure that this guy has to deal with every single time is if you don't win the World Series for the third year in a row, people are looking down their nose at you.
That's wild because a couple years ago it was, hey man, if you don't win the World Series at all, you're out. Now it's like, hey, if you don't win the World Series for a third straight year, what's wrong with you?
You're right. I guess that's just a perfect example of just keep going.
Yeah,
just keep going because it can turn fast. And we all know the story, right? They're down 2-1 with the bullpen game down at Petco Park in the first round of the playoffs again. They're 9 innings away from going home in the first round for the third consecutive year, and now we're talking about a three-peat. That's how quickly it changed.
I mean, the moment – I think it all switched. They win that game, and the moment Kike Hernandez goes on live TV and says, we don't give a bleep It felt like everything just really switched from that moment on with this team.
Yeah, they have gone to another level, and I mean, not to get too far into the rabbit hole of the labor negotiation and everything else, but I really hope, whether the Dodgers win the World Series or not, who knows? They've got as good or better chance than anybody else, but the odds are still against them to win the third consecutive World Series. So this feels like a really special time, not just in Dodger baseball history, but in Major League Baseball history, where you have a villain. The Dodgers are the villain. Now, they're not a villain in the sense that people dislike the players, but they dislike the winning. Yeah. They nobody dislikes Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. There's nothing to dislike about those guys, but they see the money. They see the full ballpark. They see the fact that, we'll just take Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz and all these other guys, and they get frustrated by it. But if they're going to shut this thing down, like I know this is naive, and I know that this is Pollyanna-ish, but I really hope somebody in that negotiation goes, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to blow our own feet off just because we're going to do it?
Well, and I think that person hopefully is on the ownership side, because the players want to keep this thing going.
Sure.
They want to keep playing this whole thing. And I think to your point, it also seems like this is generational, right? You go right now you've got the Dodgers. 25 years ago it was the Yankees. 25 years before that, it was the A's when they won 3 in a row in the 70s. I mean, it just seems to happen every 25 to 30 years. You just get that right mix of talent and luck and everything comes together, and you sort of put these things together. And, I mean, I go back to even 94, right? You had baseball at a really special point where, you had things that may not have happened. You had Tony Gwynn chasing 400. Matt Williams was on an incredible home run tear.
Chasing Roger Maris at the time.
The Expos were in first place.
The Expos are probably still in Montreal if that season.
They probably are, and all of a sudden they shut it down, and we don't get a World Series. So I would hope that there are still people around from that time, and they sort of remember how long it took. I mean, it wasn't until McGuire, Sosa, and the home run chase. 5-6 years later that you really kind of brought that thing back.
Yeah, and it feels like it's at an all-time high right now. And then, of course, there's what happened yesterday, which is the Lakers get sold. And, because the same guy that owns the Lakers owns the Dodgers, all sorts of questions get asked about the team over here, because the team over there that nobody saw coming is now in the hands of somebody else who apparently had a pretty interesting quote along the way, which we will get into in just a little bit. Marcus is here for DeMarco. We are here at Morongo Resort Casino. We are having a great day. We're having our Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off after the show today, so we're going to get you ready for that as well. We'll get into all of that stuff. Coming up next is DeMarco and Trav, 710 ESPN. And let me tell you about Kalshi, right? Golf season is just about over. Sue is not playing in this one. Now the pros are playing in this one, but it is the season-ending championship, and you can trade on the outcome on Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. So right now, Scotty Scheffler is trading at 16% to win it all, which means a $100 trade is going to pay out just a little under $600 if he wins the playoff, right? There's also other things like, let's talk about the Dodgers. We were just talking about that. They're trading at 58%. $100 gets you $167 on that trade. Maybe you're thinking Milwaukee. They are the best record in the National League. They're going to come in. They're trading at 42%. That gets you $223. Maybe you're thinking, Trav, I want to try something different. I want to just kind of go off the board and check something else. How about best picture? On Kalshi, you can trade on anything. 52% for the Odyssey, which means $186 on a $100 trade. So download that Kalshi app. Use the code Travis to get $10 when you trade 10, because on Kalshi, you are trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. And as the probabilities change, you can buy in and out of your position. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory, and do not forget your promo code Travis.
How are you? It's Dr. Robert Clapper. Guess what? The Weekend Warriors Show is back Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA, thanks to Cedar-Sinai. Cedar-Sinai is a global leader in orthopedics, offering a range of solutions in all orthopedic subspecialties to get you back to doing the things you love. Don't miss the Weekend Warriors Show with me, Dr. Clapper, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Looking for a vodka with standards? Blue Ice delivers. American-made from Idaho potatoes, gluten-free, non-GMO, and only 64 calories an ounce. Enjoy the classic Huckleberry with lemonade or award-winning double espresso. Blue Ice vodka, premium taste, nothing extra.
Summer is sizzling and the August deals are at Northridge or Wonders Toyota. It's Bethel Durant, and I love my Camry Hybrid. And right now, you can lease a 2026 Camry SE Hybrid CVT for $359 a month or 36 months plus tax. $359 for a new Camry Hybrid? Come on now. It's got to be Northridge and Wonders Toyota.
Lease based on 2026 Camry model 2561 with total SRP of $33,808. Lease and purchase amount of $21,964. $29.99 due at signing. Includes first month's payment and $750 acquisition fee. Security deposit may be required. Unapproved credit, tax, title, license, or extra. Excludes dealer doc fee of $80. Offer ends 8/31/2026.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. New episodes available now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
Marcus, if I look like I'm distracted, don't take it personally. I'm looking across the casino floor here at Morongo, and I'm trying to see if I can spot the Wonder Woman slot machine.
Okay.
Because I like that one.
Okay.
It's got, there's a lot of I just like the Linda Carter imagery on the Wonder Woman slot machine.
You know, I mean, for folks of a certain age, she was very much, probably a first crush or an early crush.
Yes, indeed.
Very formative part of a lot of people's youth. I get it.
But I haven't seen it here, but I've seen it in other places. I'm like, oh, well, I don't remember the last time I tried a slot machine. If I were to try one,
this is the one I'd try.
It would be the Wonder Woman along the way. I don't know how you feel about this, Marcus, but I really did think that by today, maybe by tomorrow, certainly sooner than later, we would have a little bit more understanding of why the Lakers are no longer part of Mark Walter's portfolio. And yet, we don't.
No, I have a sense that this is going to be stuff that sort of comes out in drips and drabs. That there may be trickle, just because it was such a bombshell. I mean, when I saw the news hit yesterday, I really have to refresh my feed, and I'm like, am I getting old news? Like, what do you mean the Lakers were sold? Like, they were sold just a while ago. Like,
right.
Why am I rehashing this? Just because it came so out of left field, I feel like this is a thing that we're going to learn little bits and pieces of as we go along, and who knows, maybe it's a thing that we never learn completely, but yeah, it makes my brain itch. I don't know what happened.
And again, none of us really know anything about this, so because there is not a ton of information, we're left to kind of guess and try to fill in some of the gaps that we don't know. But the part that I keep coming back to, the part that just makes me go, I don't know, man, is the speed in which it happened.
Yeah,
like this went from, hey, the Bob Iger and Josh Kushner group were, headed down the road to becoming the owners of the Las Vegas expansion team, and they just said, hey, let's just call Mark Walter and see if he'll sell us the Lakers, and he said, yeah, sure, why not? And then 3 days later, they had the team. Like,
what?
Okay. I mean, I guess that's plausible, but it doesn't. It just leaves so many other questions.
So that's how it happens. That's how it happens when you're selling a used car.
Yeah. And you're walking into the grocery store and somebody says, hey, you ever thought about selling that car? And you go, no, not really. Why? You want it? And he goes, yeah, I'll pay you. And you're like, you'll give me that? Sure. Here you go. Yeah.
The Lakers are not a used car.
No.
At all. So, yeah, that's crazy. So, actually, Windhorst and Ramona Shelburne were having a conversation at the Hoop Collective podcast, and there was an interesting quote that he read about the situation, and I know, Briones, you have it.
I want to refer to a quote that Bob Iger told the Bay Area, or the
California Post.
California Post. Sorry, it's a new publication.
Yeah,
he
Kobe
gave an
Price,
interview to Kobe Price, the Lakers beat writer for the California Post. And I want to read this sentence carefully, assuming that Bob chose these words carefully. Okay? He said, we were involved in pursuing the new franchise in Vegas. And while that happened, it was suggested to us that maybe Mark Walter would be interested in selling his stake in the Lakers. A lot is in that sentence. I don't want to assume that that is like the ironclad sentence, but Ramona makes it sound like somebody came to them. Okay? I can speculate who that somebody was, but I'm not going to.
And there is a little bit more to the quote. It says, we immediately decided that given the value of the franchise and the iconic nature of the team, that we would be really smart to pursue it. The deal came together in 3 days. It's that simple. It's not that simple.
No,
like,
it's not
what?
that simple.
There's so much complexity in that quote.
I think what Brian Windhorst is saying is really the part that jumps off the page. It was suggested to us. Okay, by who?
By whom?
When?
Yes.
And was the party that made the suggestion the Laker people? You know, that's the first thing that jumps into my mind. Again, just guessing here. Like, I don't know. I don't think anybody. But why would you think they are for sale?
Right.
Like, unless you are involved in the idea of, hey, man, I got to get rid of this thing for reasons. We can speculate on the reasons later. But I need to do this. Hey, I know you're going to buy that. But before you do, can I just put this in your ear? That to me is kind of me trying to fill in the gaps here, is that came from somebody that was inside and knew that, hey, this thing needs to get flipped pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just – and I think what makes it even more confusing, surprising is the investment, not just the investment of buying the Lakers, but the investment in the infrastructure that Mark Walter was making with this thing, right? That, you know, you're bringing in – all sorts of people. I mean, we sort of joked. I mean, it wasn't a joke. They brought in an actual rocket scientist to be part of the analytics team to try to figure out how some of this stuff works, right? But you're changing the way this organization has operated in terms of scouting and player development and contract negotiations and finances. That is a major, major investment. To suddenly flip this thing in just over a year is what's adding to the mystery of this whole thing.
And, of course, the mystery of it, the speed of it is, to me, the number one thing. And then closely followed by the speed of it all is the investigation into his business life, that the federal government is investigating his businesses on tax fraud, as the story goes. And, okay, like, does one have anything to do with the other? Again, I don't know. But whenever you see the speed of a transaction that goes down like this, it's hard not to jump to a conclusion that maybe I need cash and I need it fast because I have other things that are taking priority, and I thought I would be able to do this, and now there's no way I'm getting to this project, so I just have to get out and I'm going to sell it over there.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, there's so many things that sort of, you know, boggle the mind, right? The suggested part of it is right? You know, Brian Windhorst, a wink and a nod of, you know, I could probably speculate who it is. I'm not going to say, because that does kind of lead you to, you know, what is it that we don't know? Who knows it? And what is the urgency with which this happens? You know, does this mean that with this new group coming in, right, with Bob Iger and Josh Kushner coming and taking this thing over, are they going to have the same commitment to what Mark Walter had put in place? You know, are they going to keep this sort of separation of you know, powers within the organization? There's just a lot of things that are really, really murky right now.
It's funny because when they did all of their offseason moves, just the basketball stuff, right? You sign Walker Kessler, you go out and you get all the different players that they went out and got. Basically, it's a brand new team other than Austin Reeves and Luka Dončić. It's a totally different group. And you could listen to this NBA expert tell you that it's a good deal. A different NBA expert might tell you it's not as good of a deal. And everybody's got their opinion on this. But what gave me a little bit of peace of mind in all of it was just, guys, the guys that built that thing up the hill are building this. I'm going to stand back and let them build it.
Right.
You know, like let's see what they do. And I understand the rules are different. It's not exactly the same thing. But really smart people took what was, an iconic brand of the Dodgers that had been driven into the ground by the McCourts and took it to where we see it the way it is now, which is they're competing for another chance to go win a World Series for the third year in a row. They're fourth in the last 6 years, potentially. Those guys took that brain power and walked across the street and said, let's see if we can do it here. I don't know if these are the right guys, but I know that the right guys are making the decisions. And so now, are they still there? Do they leave? Do the new guys come in and bring their own guys here? Do they get rid of the guys that have just got here? Do they bring it all? Do they just kind of let it ride and see what happens? And that's where the basketball of it, to me, gets really interesting because it felt like, especially with the LeBron James leaving and going to Philadelphia, it was, all right, let's turn the page and let's get started on something new. The new thing never even got off the ground.
Right. Yeah, that's the weird part about this, right, is that everything else was shifting. We've been saying for weeks, nobody can really tell you what this team's going to be because we just don't know. There's so many new pieces. But to your point, the thing that we all had faith in was, you know what, the people building this built something great. And so we can at least have a level of confidence that they know what they're doing. They're going to put the right people in place. Now all of this is new.
And they not only they built something great, they clearly, and I'm talking about Mark Walter and his group relative to the Dodgers, they care deeply about winning. Mm-hmm. Like you do not spend all of that money. You do not agree to defer all of Shohei's money and then not just put it in your own pocket, but go give it to Kyle Tucker, give it to Edwin Diaz, give it to Blake Snell, give it to Tyler. Like we're gonna go spend all of this money to continue to win. That as expensive as it is to go to a Dodger game, it's hard to get frustrated. It's frustrating, but your money's out on the field, right? It's not just buying all these other stuff. I'm sure they live nice lives, but Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto doesn't come for nothing. Like you have to go buy all these things, and it's out on the field. So it's like, okay, you knew that the stewards of the team were deeply invested in winning, deeply invested in giving the fans an incredible experience. They renovated Dodger Stadium. Like all of these things have been really positive for the fans. And I was excited for what was going to – and the Lakers were clearly not run down the way that the Dodgers were when McCourts had them. The buses didn't do that. But it had felt like it had kind of run its course, and it was time for something else to come along. And now the new guys, we know he's a good executive. We know he's a good CEO. Is that good at running a team? I don't know. Does Josh Kushner care about winning the way that these other guys? I don't know. Yeah. And I think that's a big question. And maybe they do, but I knew the other guys did.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We're all going to find out in real time. We're all going to find out together. And I think it calls a lot of things into question. I mean, I think we spent a lot of time wondering, what does this mean, for instance, for somebody like Rob Pelinka, who's sort of floating out in limbo? What does this mean for Rob Pelinka now that we're going through another ownership group in just over a year?
So just you guys touched on this too, but Jeannie, they asked him, about Jeannie, and his answer was
being Bob Iger?
Bob Iger.
Okay.
He says, we have enormous respect and appreciation for Jeannie, her father, and what they've contributed to this franchise. And we have every intention to honor the agreement that was made between Mark and Jeannie. Here's the other part. If things change, they'll change. But we're going into this with enormous respect and appreciation for who she is and what she represents to its organization. Yeah, he's like, we'll respect it, but if things change, wink, wink.
Look, I mean, the Bob Iger ran an enormous company that we all work for.
Yep.
That to run a company like this, you got to make hard decisions, and you got to make tough decisions. And sometimes people get left out in the cold when you have to make these tough decisions. And he didn't do the deal with Jeannie Buss. Mark Walter did the deal with Jeannie Buss. And if he wants her there, I'm sure the first part of that quote will be true. If he does not, the second part of that quote will be true.
Right.
And it's just he left himself. Look, we're gonna try to do this, and if it works out, we love the Busses, and if it doesn't, well, that's how life goes sometimes.
Is there something, and we can talk about it maybe a little bit later, but is there something to, Josh Kushner is not, he's not from L.A. He doesn't necessarily live in L.A. Mm-hmm. Bob Iger at least lives here, has been here for a while, and you can't live in Los Angeles without understanding quickly what the Lakers mean to this city. And is there at least some reason to be optimistic that at least Bob Iger will look at this franchise and understand how it is really the lifeblood of the sporting community and of the city, and at least use that to, look, I look at other teams where they're bought by somebody that doesn't live there.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank McCourt was not really
Boston,
right? And the Dodgers maybe didn't mean the same to him. I would think that Bob Iger, living here as long as he has, understands what the Lakers mean to this town.
I think that is a big part of it, and in not of or other, I think, and it's. He's an NBA fan.
Yeah.
Like, I think he understood. He had Clipper season tickets. We saw him at the Knicks games when they were making their championship run. I know whenever they do the glamour shots of Madison Square Garden, Bob Iger is frequently in those shots. He is, if nothing else, he is an NBA fan. He's a basketball fan, and I don't think you could be a basketball fan and not understand what the Lakers mean. And then on top of the fact that he's an LA resident, I think, if you've lived in his city for 5 seconds, the Dodgers – the Lakers, USC, like it's just you can't miss certain things. Then the other stuff is kind of out there if you want it, but these are the tent poles that hold the city up. And I think you're right. I think he does understand that. All right. Do you want 2 tickets to football's biggest championship game? You know what that means, right? Pro football's biggest championship game. That means you want to listen to this show today at Morongo Casino Resort and Spa for this live broadcast and enter for your chance to join the Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off Draft Live with Marcus and myself. Beat the hosts. You're going to beat me. You probably won't beat Marcus for weekly prizes and be the last fan standing to win the grand prize. Powered by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. We will get a little first pitch going on. I don't know if you've ever met Greg Bergman or not, but
I'm not familiar.
He's going to join us, and we'll talk a little Dodger baseball.
Okay, so if you guys are here, we obviously got winners for this, but if you're at Morongo, that's what we're calling people out. You can potentially also
there you go
face off with you guys. So
Come on
I'm
in.
Excited for that.
Sweet. You're going to beat me. That's going to happen, Marcus.
I'm not playing, so I know
you could beat me too, boy. Anybody that is hearing my voice has got a very good chance of beating me at fantasy football as well. Little first pitch is coming up next.
ESPN LA may sound one way on AM.
But you know where it sounds best?
You guessed it, crystal clear digital audio.
Crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA wherever you get your apps.
And you can always watch LA's mega sports station live or on demand on our YouTube channel at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hey, John Ireland here. Tired of watching life from the bench? It's time to get in the game. Globe Life is looking for people who want more than just a job. Set your schedule and help families protect what matters most. No experience? No problem. Training is provided, and you don't need anything to get started. It's not a desk job. It's a shot at building your legacy on your own terms. Your road to the championship starts at globelifecareers.com. Globe Life, official life insurance of the Los Angeles Lakers.
The LA Card Expo returns August 15th and 16th to the Warner Center Marriott in Woodland Hills. Sports cars, Pokemon, TCG, autographed memorabilia, rare finds, and more, all under one roof. With over 150 vendor tables, there's something for serious collectors, casual fans, and the whole family. Show hours are Saturday, August 15th, 9:30 to 5, and Sunday, August 16th from 10 to 4. For tickets and info, visit lacardexpo.com. That's lacardexpo.com. Don't miss the LA Card Expo, August 15th and 16th.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion, and I mean explosion. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, a zero-sugar treat that's sweet tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
Beautiful afternoon out here at Morongo. Joining right now, Greg Bergman back in L.A. And Greg, have you had a chance to meet Marcus before?
Marcus, who
Marcus
are you?
Grant.
Marcus Grant. Oh, I think I've heard you were on NFL Network, right? Like you do fantasy
Once upon a
stuff?
time, yeah.
I think I've heard of you every once in a while. Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys covered this on Blue Review this morning, but when Freddie took his nosedive into the Royals dugout, were you as terrified as I was, thinking, please get up, please get. And when you saw him pop up as quickly, I'm like, okay, at least he's not unconscious.
Yeah. So I think, Marcus, you and I were at the exact same time texted our group chat. Oh, no. And I think you used a different word than I did. I think you had an
I did, yeah.
bleep.
Yeah.
Shoot?
Yeah, shoot. Yeah,
shoot. Yes,
sure,
yes.
we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
We'll go with that, yeah.
Like, it came in instantly at the exact same time. That was terrifying.
Okay. So, I mean, do you guys really think that the Royals are responsible for getting in the way there? Like, are they supposed to prop him up? That's just kind of one of those things. Look, man, you're coming in here. You're on your own. I don't think anybody's hoping that he does get hurt, but we're going to step back and let's you see if you want to catch this thing or not.
So for me, it's not so much. I don't think it's their fault. It's not their responsibility. I don't think. But I do think that if you're going into an empty space like that, they should at least say something. Just be like, hey. Like, at least just say, hey,
look
no
out.
railing, no railing, no railing, or something, look out, no railing, because it's not, at least that may get him to look away and look down and say, oh, these are stairs, it's not a railing, and he doesn't end up almost killing himself. Like, that could have been something. I know it's funny, but at the same time, like, he could have fallen and fell flat on his face. He could have broken an ankle.
Knocked his teeth out. Yeah. He could have broke his arm. He could have broke his leg. God knows what could have happened.
He could have. That could have been the end of his career if something bad happened in that space. So I just think, like, when you're thinking about it that way, it's like, hey, just say something. I don't expect you to go over there and hold him like, oh, I got you. I just want you to say something.
I do wonder, too, how much, because he went hard after that ball, and I wonder how much of it is because it was Landon Knack on the mound, and, like, you're trying to make sure you get it out.
Too.
It is still a game. It's still close, but I think, if it's Tanner Scott out there throwing BBs, and you're like, okay, I have a good feeling that he can still get this out. But, it's Landon Knack in a close ball game. You don't know if this thing goes sideways or not. I feel like he went a little harder after that ball than he might have in a different situation.
I think one of the really good news about this thing is that he's back in the lineup tonight. And then combine that with the fact that the Dodgers are as deliberate as they are when it comes to dealing with their player injuries, that if there was any sort of, hey, man, I'm not quite so sure, I think you would have seen him have a day off, if not more than a day off, that he's right back in there the very next night. With the Dodger history of really slow playing some injuries, I think that the worst is behind you. Now, if he all of a sudden goes into a skid, we're going to say, oh, he fell into the dugout, and because he's been hitting 500 for like 3 weeks. So it's like he's going to cool off. I don't know if taking a header the way he did has anything to do with it, but if he cools off, we're going to blame it on this, right?
Yeah, we're going to probably do something along those lines, but just be aware that he has a scheduled off day tomorrow, I believe. He has a scheduled off day tomorrow. So if he's out tomorrow, it's not like, oh, no, he's actually now hurting. This has been scheduled for him to be off tomorrow. So that's a point that has to get out there.
I mean, they said it was total body soreness, which, when you reach a certain age, every day is just total body soreness.
You take inventory when you wake up in the morning? I do it every day.
Every day. Like, oh, my left foot feels weird. Don't know why, but it does. It just feels a little bit weird this morning.
And you just hope that at a certain point that, okay, that's going to go back to normal. It may be later that morning. It might be in 2 weeks. It might be, but the reality of it is now is it may just be that way the rest of your life.
It's just what it is now.
Like,
I just got a weird left foot.
Now.
I don't know.
I didn't even know.
Right.
Man, I've been complaining to you, Travis, for the last, 3 weeks, a month, that my neck and back is hurting. Yeah, my neck is a pain. Like, that's just normal for waking up. But to move on for just a second to go to something else, I know you talked about the oral thing so many times, but I was in the break while I was sitting there scrolling through Instagram. I watched as Joe Davis talked about how his son's middle name is Oral. You must have heard
Oral Davis.
Must have been so many amazing stories that you heard while you were sitting there. That I know you've already said that it was the most surreal moment of your life, but
yeah, it was
how cool was that to hear all those different stories about him? Because we obviously haven't heard them yet.
They were incredible. And I think the thing that speaks to Oral more than anything else is not one person told a baseball story. Not one person said, I remember the time he was on the mound and then this happened. Not once. It was all about the type of man he is, about the character that he has, about the way that he has helped other people, about the way that he has integrated his baseball life with his broadcasting life, with his professional life, with his personal life. His family was there. And people come out of their way to celebrate somebody like that. Whether it was Jaime Jarrín or Joe Davis or Clayton Kershaw, Dave Roberts, all of the people that went up there to speak on his behalf, they all talked about Oral Hershiser, the person, and not really about Oral Hershiser, the great pitcher. So, and I think that tells you the sort of guy that he is.
Yeah, and in that, Joe Davis, while he was talking, part of it was he said, this is Oral Hershiser, the person, and that on his birthday, they went out to an Italian restaurant for dinner, and when it was the toast time, he went around to every single person. There was about 10 of them, and he went around and toasted each of them on his birthday instead of telling a toast to everybody. He went to each specific person.
I thought it's cool that you seized on that, too, because I thought that was amazing. And I just thought that was, and kind of put it in the file cabinet in my brain, like, you know what? I'm going to try to do that at some point. At some point, to tell everyone else why you're important to me, how you've helped our lives, and to the story that Greg's mentioned, like they were all out at dinner. I think they were in St. Louis on the road, and it happened to be Oral's birthday, and everyone went together, and he took the opportunity to tell, this is what you mean to me, and this is what you mean to me, and went around the whole room. And then Davis has a great joke at the end. He's like, Joe Davis brought a college buddy with him that Oral had met like an hour before, and he talked about him for 10 minutes and just kind of went through the whole thing along the way. So it was really neat, and it was a real privilege and honor to get a chance to get included in something like that. Speaking of Dodger pitchers, I heard you mention a little bit with Ireland. Get both your guys' thoughts on this. You said it, Greg. Do you buy Roki Sasaki as like this is what he is? That the version that we've seen over the last 6 or 8 weeks, is that the guy now?
I think that is going to be mostly the guy now. I think he's going to have his ups and downs. He's going to give up. He's going to walk 7 guys in an outing one time. He's going to give up 3 home runs, and he's going to get just absolutely nailed because that's just kind of what happens. But I think he has honed in on his stuff enough that it's going to be more good outings than bad outings at this point. That this will be what you've seen over those last 3 or 4 outings is going to be his typical outing, where he's going either between 100 and 102 miles an hour or dropping it down a little bit if he feels to, or he's using his splitter and landing it within the zone. He's no longer trying to nibble around the edges, it seems, Marcus, and I think you and I have talked about this a bunch. He's actually landing things in the zone. He's attacking the zone now, and I think that changes everything about him. And when he's using all of his 3 or 4 different pitches, he's going to keep guys off balance, and I think this is what we're looking at, a typical start from Roki. It may not be every start, but I think most of the time it will be this.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things he's doing is he's finding the strike zone with the fastball, which seems kind of simple, but when you try to live on that splitter and you try to get that swing and miss, if they don't believe you can throw the fastball for strikes, they're not going to chase that splitter at all. And, I'll use the analogy I used on Blue Review a few weeks ago, Greg, keeping in mind that I have a 7-year-old son who's Disney obsessed. It was like giving him that giant glove was sort of like when they gave Dumbo the feather and told Dumbo that's what helps you fly, right? And then he loses the feather and suddenly realizes that, no, like, the reason I can fly is because I believe in myself. But right now, that giant glove is sort of the feather that keeps Roki pitching well. And look, maybe at some point they give him a regular-sized glove and he figures out that, hey, you know what? It's just my stuff. That's the reason I can get out.
The feather is beautiful because yours is far more family-friendly. I've been using the garter belts from Bull Durham, where if you think you're getting guys out because you pitch in women's underwear, then you are, right? But it's the stuff all along the way. I had a pitching coach in college who pitched in the big leagues for a handful of seasons. Bill Bonham pitched for the Reds, pitched for the Chicago Cubs, and he was talking about, because whether you're a freshman coming into college or whether you're a young pitcher coming into the big leagues, it's that, okay, am I actually good enough to play here? And you're trying to figure out, like, okay, that guy's a little older than me, he's a little more experienced than I am. Like, do I have the stuff to get this guy out? And you start to say, okay, let's figure it out. And he said, he told me the story that when he first got to the big leagues, he thought the only way to get a big league hitter out was I had to paint a corner with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball 3 times. That's the only way I can get any of these guys out. And he goes, and you realize soon enough, You don't. You just have to make good pitches, and they will make mistakes just like you're going to make mistakes. And I think that's the process that Sasaki has started to go through, which is I don't have to be perfect, and my miss can't be off the plate. That my miss can be if I'm going for this much, I can miss a little bit and still be in the strike zone and still survive, because those margins that he had before, he was either on the edge or nowhere close. And now he's either in the strike zone or on the edge a lot of the time. And I think the feather, the women's underwear, whatever we want to call it, the glove, he's just starting to realize is that my stuff plays here. It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 pitch. A 7 out of 10 pitch will get most of these guys out.
So do you think that now, so I said that I think this is what we're going to typically see. I think it sounds like Marcus is that same way. Are you that way now, or are you still kind of wary about it?
I'm a little more, I'm really slow to say a guy is now a good pitcher. Like whether it was Tony Gonsolin, whether it was Justin Robleski, whether it's Emmett Sheehan, whether it's anything, it's like for me to be convinced you're a good major league pitcher, I need to see you have a good season and then an additional good season, because the league is constantly adjusting to what you do. I think that's what you're seeing with Robleski right now is we've seen a lot of pitches from him. We know that this is the sequencing he likes. This is how he likes to finish a hitter off, this right-hander or left-hander with a guy on base or not on base. And just they're collecting data points on how to attack these guys. It's like, oh, okay, here comes. They know what's coming. It's really hard to get a guy out. So I think it's that adjustment back to the adjustment, right? It's that constant push and pull of baseball. I need to see him get tagged a little more and then readjust back to it again, and then I think we're on to something. But it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think you very well could be right. I mean, from what I'm seeing from him, it just looks like this dude has an understanding of what he wants now. But again, he's going to have some bad outings. He's going to give up.
Oh, sure.
He's going to give up 5 or 6 runs, and he's going to walk a bunch of dudes every once in a while. But I think this is going to be more the norm, and that's just how it seems right now.
Most importantly, did I, when you were watching this stuff on Instagram or whatever, did I show up? Did you see me?
So I was looking for you, and so I was looking around. Where were you? Were you in the front row? Were you in the second row?
I'm not, and I swear to God, I have no idea how this happened. I'm literally sitting directly behind Oral. Oral is in the front row. I am in the second row, directly behind him.
No, I was looking through the front row. So I have to go back and I'll look. I saw you walking in one of our videos when you're walking behind everybody. He's like walking behind Miggy Rowe and Dave Roberts.
How
you look good, man.
Good. That's all I care about.
It's the suit. I think you've talked about this before, but you have one suit, right?
I have one suit that fits. I have other suits that I don't wear anymore because they're a little large.
Yeah,
but
well,
yes,
he did lose like 400
pounds,
pounds, so that'll happen.
Yeah, something like that. I like to walk, Greg.
Give or take.
I like to walk.
No, it's great.
Sure.
No, you have lost a lot of weight.
Didn't help my hair grow back, but that's a whole other issue for another day. All right, Greg, thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
All right, are you doing the Far Side today, Marcus?
I am, yeah.
All right, we're going to do a little Marcus Grant version of the Far Side coming up next. It's DeMarco and Travis. We are here at Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Far Side, straight ahead.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
You never know what you're going to get when you wake up with Sedano and Cap.
Like, how much could you really love the Lakers if you flipped it like a property?
Right. I mean, this was a business transaction. This was not about where your heart is. And that's what Mark Walter seemingly did. He flipped the Lakers. Wasn't married to the Lakers.
Yeah.
It was an investment.
It's the morning show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Call Jacob. Hey, it's Mace.
And I'm Ireland.
After a crash, you are on the spot. You got to make the right decisions.
800-345-6789. Count the facts. Count on Jacob.
Count your options, then count on Jacob. 800-345-6789.
Put it in your phone. Memorize it.
Accident or injury. Call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob. 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Guys, Pizza Hut takes me back old school. Birthday parties, Little League, Friday nights. There was always something special about the Hut. Now, celebrate again with Pizza Hut's new throwback value menu. Iconic favorites like a personal pan pizza, breadsticks, and a 2-liter soda starting at just $4. Feed the family with the original stuffed crust pizza, $11.99 for a one-topping medium. Try new additions like triple cheese, mac, and gooey s'mores sticks. Go to pizzahut.com or order now on the Pizza Hut app.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
John Ireland here, and when it comes to vodka, I like a winner, and Blue Ice Vodka delivers. America's largest potato vodka. Double gold rated, just 64 calories an ounce, and made from Idaho potatoes. Clean, smooth, no additives. Blue Ice Vodka. Vodka with standards.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA. And it is the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show right here on ESPN LA.
The Far Side.
And it's time for the Far Side, presented by our friends at Highlands.
The Far Side.
Weekday afternoons at 4 p.m.
Time for the Far Side with DeMarco Farr, right now on the Travis and DeMarco Afternoon Show on ESPN LA.
I'm going to do my best DeMarco Farr impersonation. What does DeMarco say all the time? I have no idea.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Does that make sense? He uses that one a lot, too.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Trav, how do you feel about preseason football?
I hate it.
See, and I know that is the prevailing sentiment about preseason football. I understand that I am very much in the minority here. I will stand on business, as the kids say, that preseason football is good and necessary, and the league has gone out of its way to make us hate it.
Okay.
That I understand. Look, I get it. It's a bunch of guys, a lot of them fighting for jobs. A lot of them are guys whose names we will never hear or hear very rarely over the course of the season. I understand that it does not look like what we want to see out of NFL-type football. But I also fast forward to what happens usually weeks 1, 2, 3, etc. when we watch the NFL, and it looks sloppy nowadays in the first few weeks of the season.
You're not wrong about that.
And the Rams might be sort of the exception to the rule because Sean McVay runs a really tight ship. But I don't know how much we complain about pre-snap penalties or timing being off, or it looks like the quarterback and the wide receiver might have just met in the parking lot before the game because we have basically decided to discard any pretense of using the preseason for what it was intended for. And I always like to use the analogy of a Broadway show, that if you like going to a Broadway show and you show up there on opening night and they didn't use their dress rehearsals to actually get things together, you would be upset. If you paid your hard-earned money and the actors didn't know their lines, the music cues were off, they didn't hit their marks on stage, you would be so annoyed by this whole thing. And we've allowed this to happen with the NFL, and I think it's because the league, especially now, they put pretty much all the games on TV. You can watch them either live or on replay. And if you go to a game, what they charge you in terms of parking, tickets, food, sort of approximates a real game. And because of that, we've all started to say, well, you know what? If we're going to pay real prices and they're going to put them on TV and make them out to be real games, we want it to look like a real game. So because it doesn't, we've decided to throw all of preseason football away. And I want to push back on that and say, you know what? Let's just accept it for what it is, that it is a rehearsal. It is the warm-up period so that when we kick things off in week 1, it looks like we actually got something together with our preseason time.
Yeah, you make a good case. And I think if you would have asked me this question when I was in high school, for instance, I would have said, it's okay. Because of what you just said. The actual players played, right? There was this very consistent formula that they would use, which is preseason, like, for instance, the Chiefs game that the Rams are going to play on Saturday. Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, Kyren Williams, Myles Garrett, the stars. they would play a series.
Mm-hmm.
They'd play one series, and then they'd come off and they'd put their baseball caps on and hang out. But they would play a series, and they would at least be able to get a little of that rust. Then in week 2, they would play a quarter. And it's like, okay, we're getting a little more of what it is. And they weren't game planning or anything like that, but it was they were doing a real dress rehearsal to continue your analogy. Week 3 was you're going to play a half and then play a series in the fourth quarter just to get used to the rhythm of all that. And then week 4, when there was 4 preseason games, was what you get now, weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Which is just a bunch of guys that probably aren't going to make the team, or if they do, they're going to be depth pieces at best. And it's just you're exactly right. It's just I'm looking at this going, these aren't NFL players for the most part.
Right.
So what am I looking at?
Yeah, no, I mean, so I understand because of the shift, and some of it has come from the coaches not wanting to get guys hurt, which on the one hand, I understand that. On the other hand, there is pretty much a 100% injury rate in the game of football. And if your fear is we don't want to get guys hurt, then we probably shouldn't be playing football.
I agree with that.
But when the lights come on real, when the Rams and the 49ers get it going in Australia in week 1, I want it to look like they've actually put some work in for this whole thing, because these are the games that count. And, I get it. If you're a top-level team, if you're the Rams, Sean McVay does a great job. You have a lot of talent, and chances are they're not going to look so raggedy. But, when you're watching Red Zone, when you're watching, a Sunday afternoon game, there's just a lot of bad football these first few weeks. And I'm like, let's get that out of the way in August so that when we get to September, we get actual good football.
I agree with you that the Rams are probably sharper than the rest of the league, or at least most of the rest of the league, but they're sharper in week 5 than they are in weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Like because they've gone through it a lot. I think your point about the injury is a good one. And I go back and forth on this. I'm not quite sure if you forced me to pick a side on this, which way I'd go. I understand the idea of why would I ever put one of my players in a position to get injured in something that literally doesn't count? This is by definition, it is a meaningless thing as far as the result is concerned. Like, to your point, there's value and meaning in getting ready for the opening night. But if I break my leg in rehearsal, now what? Right? So that makes sense to me. But I also, this constant, we can't do this. We got to prevent. Load management falls into this larger silo of constantly trying to prevent the unpreventable. Guys get hurt. Stuff happens. And constantly trying to prevent something that is just part of athletics, football in particular, it doesn't work. Guys get hurt anyway. And I know that if somebody went out there on the first week and rolled their ankle and missed the first 2 minutes, you say, well, great, good job. Yeah, okay. It could also happen on the first snap of the week of week 1. Yeah. I don't know if it actually helps you do anything.
Yeah, and that's also kind of where I feel about this. Like, yeah, sure, it stinks if somebody, hurts a knee in preseason week 2, but what's the difference between that and happening in regular season week 2? You're still going to miss an extended period of time. It's still a thing that you can't really avoid. I want better for us as fans, and I want the regular season to actually look like the regular season. And I don't know. I've kind of gotten over the idea of people using September as their preseason.
Just so we're on the same page, though, you don't actually enjoy watching this version of preseason.
I don't really love watching it,
okay.
And
it's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil. And here's the thing, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud. You don't have to sit and lock in for it all the time, right?
Oh, I'm well aware.
like last year, I remember last summer, it was like a Saturday afternoon or whatever, and people were tweeting and posting about watching this preseason game, that preseason game. I posted a picture with my son at the zoo. I was like, I could be in front of the TV watching preseason, or I'm walking around the LA Zoo with a beer and looking at giraffes. I feel like this is a better use of my Saturday afternoon.
LA Zoo.
The LA Zoo.
I haven't been to the LA Zoo.
Okay, let's talk about zoos for a second. Because we took my kids to the zoo, too. I think it's just a rite of passage for parents.
That is true.
To the zoo. And it's a very nice afternoon out. You're out in the sunshine, especially in San Diego or LA or whatever. And San Diego has a world-famous zoo.
Yes, it does.
The LA Zoo is a very good zoo. It's big and beautiful and all those things. Do you guys like the zoo?
I've done the zoo enough that I can not go to the zoo again for a long time and be perfectly fine with that.
So,
Laura?
Okay, like is a strong term.
Okay.
I do think it's a rite of passage. I want to take my nieces and nephews because I haven't done it. I think San Diego's. I love LA. I'm an LA girl, but I do think San Diego.
Oh, San Diego's it's top tier.
But I also went to one in DC, which was crazy.
That's a great zoo too.
Great. But then I feel like the part of me that's like I see the animals and I feel bad for them, and that's when I'm like, I shouldn't be here.
No one is ever going to confuse Travis Rogers with a PETA member. I'm just saying this right now, okay? Like I am not. I'm not their guy. Mm-hmm. I get bummed out when I go to the zoo, man. Like what you said, I'm like, the animals look so sad. They look like, yeah, man, I don't know how this happened. Like, I was chilling. I was eating leaves off the top of this tree, and the next thing I know,
I'm in a truck.
I'm in L.A. Like, what happened? How did I get here?
I mean, it could be worse. You could be somewhere else. You are in L.A., but still,
No, you were in a very small little concrete pen in L.A.
It is a little tough.
Prisoners downtown are in L.A., but they're still not really enjoying the city that's there.
The fact. I don't know where to go with that.
I would say this: the LA Zoo has beer, so that's a plus.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, you can get a beer and walk around with one. It's very nice.
Is that where they do the like the haunted hayride thing? Is that
no, I think that's actually in Griffith Park, but I don't think it's at the zoo specifically.
Because I know that they're
Griffith Park.
I do love Griffith Park.
Park's great.
Yeah.
Haven't been there in a minute.
Have you done the Hollywood sign hike?
I have done that.
Yeah, I want to do that.
It's interesting. Oh, it's so I will tell you this. It is a legit hike, and I think what happens is people come from out of town and they read in like the guidebooks that you can walk up to the Hollywood sign.
It's
like
4-mile hike.
It is a hike. So like I will see families with like kids in strollers or grandmas like trying to. And I'm like, no, this is like a legitimate hike.
There is, but I haven't done it in a long time before like my fall and my knee surgery and all that stuff. But there is like a little bit of a hack that you can do, and that's probably where the non-locals are not getting it, because there is a way to drive up and then kind of cut through a specific area and then you get there. But you do have to go through residential areas, and you got to be careful. So that's probably why they took the other side.
I've done the hike from the observatory down into the park and then back up to the observatory again. Yeah. That one I really like. Yeah. But I've got my head on a swivel because there's mountain. I think that one guy's gone.
P22?
P22. I think he's
no longer with us.
Yeah. I'm just looking. There's just a mountain line here, and everybody's cool with that. Okay. Like, all right. I guess I'll just pay attention.
So Briones just texted me. I don't know why he doesn't open the mic.
Turn on your mic.
I know.
Holmes.
Turn on your
All right,
mic.
cool. So there used to be a horseback riding thing by the Hollywood sign that Brenda and I did way back in the day when we were younger. But you can horseback ride by the Hollywood sign and whatnot.
So they had I think we're talking about the same thing. Like that wash that runs right by the freeway by Griffith Park. The stables were on the other side, and then you would go underneath the freeway and come out there. And I did it when I was a kid, but the horses were like 700 years old. Like they were so old. And like, you're talking about somebody who's just putting in a day's work. That horse was struggling walking around out there.
There's also like, because there's so many different avenues to get in there. There is like a train thing, right? Or
that little it goes right by the bottom.
Little train thing that I've seen that I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I want to do that. I feel like every time I get lost in a street somewhere in LA or up in the hills, there's like a cool thing that I'm like, oh, I've never done that.
Well,
I should do that.
If you go into Griffith Park, there's the old zoo, because the zoo where it is now is not the original LA Zoo.
Right.
There's the old zoo still there where you can actually go into the cages, and they basically just like they're like cement small caves almost. Yeah, but like they're open and you can go and play around in there now.
So, hey, you're looking around like, I pay a lot of rent for a place not nearly as nice as all this. That rhinoceros had it pretty good. I don't know. All right, let me ask you a question. How would you like to drive home in a brand new 2026 Mustang GT Premium Fastback? Earn your entries right now at Morongo, and you could drive off a winner on August 31st. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, good times. So, we were talking about buying a used car, like in the parking lot. When I went to the Oral Hershiser Star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame today, they had us park in this garage, and so I'm walking from the garage to the stage, and I'm walking through the garage, and there's this beautiful, like I think it was a 65 Mustang convertible, like kind of royal blue with a black top. And it looked like it was pretty good. It was a little dirty. Like you could tell it hadn't been run through a car wash in a minute. And as I got a little closer, I'm like, because I kind of wanted to look in it and see.
Right.
And not one, but 2 flat tires. They were not recently flat. Like, you could tell that car hasn't been moved in a really long time. And I had that moment like, I'd really like to drive that car. Like, do I leave a little note on that car? Like, hey, I noticed this car hasn't moved in a while, but if you've ever thought about it.
Well, you want to part with it, give me a call.
Yeah, Bob Iger. Just shoot your shot.
Hey, look, apparently all you have to do is ask.
If you don't ask, the answer's automatically no.
That is true.
Let's talk more about Bob Iger, new owner of the Lakers, and what we might expect. Chris Paul's name keeps coming up, and that's coming up next. It's DeMarco and Travis. Marcus is here for DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
How are you? It's Dr. Robert Clapper. Guess what? The Weekend Warriors Show is back Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA, thanks to Cedars-Sinai. Cedars-Sinai is a global leader in orthopedics, offering a range of solutions in all orthopedic subspecialties to get you back to doing the things you love. Don't miss the Weekend Warriors Show with me, Dr. Clapper, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Hey guys, Sedano here, and summer's here. Everyone's getting together. So why are you still living with those same old floors? Upgrade with Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. They've got millions of in-stock options, including Core-Tech, the original 100% waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof, luxury vinyl flooring in stock and can be installed in a few days. Visit the showroom next to the Commerce Casino off the 5 freeway or online at HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. No games, no gimmicks, because no sale beats wholesale.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? It's just better for you. Waba Grill. It's flavorful.
Pick me up and never put me down.
It's quality. It's fresh. It's spicy. Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. A spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed in fiery chili crisp. Get yours now, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker so after the first one freaks you out, you see the second and you're like, oh right, the wall stickers. Check and mate. Bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive and save on protection for the things on your checklist. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations covered subject to policy terms.
Harry Douglas here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of that guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's delicious, portable, zero sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on the summer with Firework Freeze 5-hour energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com and on Amazon.
And it is the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show, 4 o'clock hour, the 4 p.m. Waba Grill Happy Hour. Waba Grill's weekday happy hour now starts at 2 p.m. until close and is packed with even more flavor. Choose 5-piece dumplings, original or new chili crisp, or a boom boom taco. Boom boom bam! Paired with a value-sized premium Waba beverage, get both for just $5. Only at Waba Grill. The 4 p.m. Waba Grill Happy Hour rolls on the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show on ESPN LA.
We are live from Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. We are here at the Sideline Bar. We're getting ready for our fantasy football face-off, which is coming up after the show. So if you're in and around the neighborhood and you want to come out and see if you got what it takes to knock off my man Marcus Grant here, I don't know. You'll be able to take me down, no problem at all. Marcus might be a tougher putt, but swing on through, and we're having a great day here at the Sideline Bar. And all right, so you told me wait on quarterbacks. Give me another thing.
Let's see. It's probably worth it to go early, semi-early for a tight end. There's only a handful that you can count on reluctantly or not consistently week after week. So like your Trey McBrides, your Brock Bowers, even a Colston Loveland, probably somewhere between rounds 3 and 5 is worth taking a swing.
All right. So the Rams have 17 tight ends.
Yeah.
Does that mean that none of them are that reliable as far as scoring fantasy
It's
points?
a little more of a roll of the dice. I would say if you're picking one, Terrence Ferguson's probably the one to get, but you can wait a little later for him.
Okay. So quarterbacks late, tight ends relatively early.
Yes.
All right. So, see, Laura, I'm basically a fantasy football expert.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. See,
do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me about fantasy football?
I deeply respect you, Travis, but if it's between you two, I'm gonna defer to
now
Marcus.
I'm offended. Did you not hear the brilliant advice that I was just taking in? You know whose name keeps coming up with this Laker stuff? Chris Paul's.
Oh.
That apparently he and Bob Iger are good friends.
Okay. This is from Iger having Clippers season tickets and the like?
I guess so. But they are not just like acquaintances, but they are friends. And what's the first thing you do when you buy something? You make it your own, right? That you paint the walls. You put in new carpet. You take the car and you get it detailed and get the old guy's French fries out from under the seat, right? You do all of this kind of stuff. But the first thing is, I want this place to be mine. Mm-hmm. Would not having a future Hall of Famer like Chris Paul, who you trust, understand, you guys, gotten to know one another, be somebody that you might be interested in saying, hey, look, I need my own person in here. Would you like to be that person?
I can see that. I see the vision there. I am immediately of two minds about this. One, that there's a part of me that's kind of tickled pink that, after all these years, the Lakers finally land Chris Paul.
50-year-old Chris Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
After David Stern said for basketball reasons you can't make that trade.
Unbelievable.
The other part that sort of concerns me, though, is just Chris Paul has been known to be abrasive.
Bingo.
There's a reason that, especially late in his career, he kept bouncing from team to team to team, and that basically he was sort of unceremoniously dumped at the end of his playing career just because he tended to butt heads with a lot of people. And I think especially when you have a roster that's still sort of getting to know each other, things that are very much in flux, it feels like a big gamble to bring in a guy who is known to sort of not play well with others.
What if he was more of like a consigliere as opposed to had an official role with the team? Because I agree with you. I think that Chris Paul's reputation is twofold. Tremendous player and somebody that people struggle to get along with. Yeah. That's just who he is. And I think that what makes him a great player is probably that same nature that his interpersonal skills lack, right? That's just the way that goes. But if he and Bob Iger see the world similarly, and there's, come in, take a look at this, tell me what you think. And he's not interacting with the players. He's not breathing down J.J. Redick's neck. He's not dealing with, maybe Rob Pelinka is a different story. We could talk about that next maybe. But just having somebody that wasn't here before, because I think one of the pitfalls is if you just have the same people, you're going to keep getting the same answers. And I think that was one of the things that with Pelinka at least is, I think Pelinka is very good at managing up. Mm-hmm. I think he's very good at making sure that the people that control his fate like him.
Right.
That I don't know if I need that person. I need somebody that's going to tell me what's really going on around here, not necessarily somebody that's going to tell me what they think I need to hear to save my own tail.
Yeah, I think if that were the role, I think there's a lot of merit in something like that, where it is like, hey, you know what? Bob Iger's trying to figure something out, or they're trying to figure out like what kind of person to bring in or what kind of moves to make. Hey, if I've got Chris Paul on speed dial, right? Like, hey, you know what? I think that sort of works. I do think it's something a little bit different if you're having him at practice or in the locker room or something like that. Then I think that is when you're kind of asking for trouble.
Let me ask you both this question. Laura, weigh in on this too, because I know that you were very outspoken in your desire to move on to the next chapter of Laker basketball after LeBron James.
Correct.
I tend to agree with you. And then when it happened and the Walter Group was fully in place, it was all right, let's see what's coming up. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Let's see what's coming up. Walker, I don't know. Okay, cool. Seems like a good player, but I don't know. And now that's never mind over. It never really even started. We just kind of unplugged it and said, no, we're not doing any of that. The players are still the same, but do you guys still have that level of enthusiasm that I had for what's coming next, because my emotion went from enthusiastic to more curious. Like, what is this going to look like, as opposed to, man, just let those guys go do their thing.
I think when this happened, okay, so I was enthusiastic. I was just eager to get the new ownership in, and when we started seeing them do things, we're like, okay, let's go. LeBron's gone. All right, I'm fully in. I was already fully in because of what he did with the Dodgers, but now I'm really in. Now it's uncertainty because, okay, so you did all this, essentially flip the team, which gives me so much uncertainty for the Dodgers on that spectrum.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? So and then with the Lakers, there's an uncertainty of what is this new group going to do? Are they going to allow the people that are already there to kind of do what they're set out to do? I mean, there's still so many unknowns because Kushner alone owns a minority stake of the Heat, and that has to kind of, play itself out for him to take over the Lakers. So there's so much uncertainty there, and I don't like that. I don't like uncertainty. And we had certainty, it felt like, with the Walter Group, and now I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I think this is where you are. And I think even with, I'm not even going to say certainty, but at least we had a track record, right? We had an example. Right, exactly. That's what we had with the Walter Group. And now there's nothing. I mean, who is actually making the calls on things? Is it Iger? Is it Kushner? You mentioned Kushner having a stake there with the Miami Heat. Is he looking at this as, this is my chance to sort of get out from somebody else's shadow and play kind of basketball executive sort of thing? And what does he think about building an organization, building a franchise? I know Bob Iger's relationship with the NBA was more on the media deal-making side, right? Obviously, as the head of the Walt Disney Corporation and, the ABC, ESPN group that came along with that, he sort of had that part of it. But in terms of, again, sort of building and running a franchise, sort of how does he feel about that? So now you've got that uncertainty at the top of, we just don't know who's doing what and what their thought processes are, along with a roster that is just full of question marks. Everything is just kind of a black box.
Yeah, you said so many things in there that I think, let's come back and talk about the fact that there's ownership in a different group that needs to be divested before you can come in here and do that, and what Bob Iger and his level of expertise running a company may bring to a basketball team. And again, just the shock of the fact that it happened as quickly as it did to the person that it did. We'll get into all that coming up next. DeMarco is not here, but Marcus Grant is. We're getting ready for the Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off here from Morongo Casino Resort and Spa on 710 ESPN.
Mornings in LA start with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Is it conceivable that one ultra-rich guy calls another ultra-rich guy and just says, hey, this may sound completely crazy. What would you think about selling the Lakers to us?
100% very possible. I think, if anything, it will be a similar outlook to what we had previously about these are guys that are going to be willing to spend in the margins, and they're going to do whatever's best for adding the stuff in the uncapped areas, front office, coaching staff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're also led by a guy in Bob Iger. And look, maybe I'm biased because I've been around him a little bit. He was the boss around here. But I know for a fact that he is a monster NBA fan. This is someone who truly loves the sport of basketball.
The Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN Los Angeles.
John Ireland here. You want a vodka that's championship caliber? Look for Blue Ice Vodka at Ralph's, America's largest potato vodka. Double gold rated, just 64 calories an ounce. Classic, Huckleberry, or double espresso. Blue Ice Vodka. Vodka with standards.
When it's time for your next vehicle, make the winning play at George Chevrolet. It's Chris Morales telling you to go see John Good at George Chevrolet. With straightforward pricing, real savings, a great selection, and award-winning service, George Chevrolet is committed to earning your business by saving you money. Whether you're a first-time buyer, rebuilding your credit, or ready to upgrade, their team is here to help you find the right vehicle at the perfect price. Visit George Chevrolet off the 91 freeway in Bellflower, or shop online at georgechevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Great teams walk in with a playbook, so why face your family's future without one? Globe Life makes protecting the people you love simple, and with Globe Life, it's never been any easier. You can apply for coverage online or with an agent in just minutes. No complicated strategy, just straightforward protection from a name you already trust. Get your free quote today at globelifeinsurance.com. Globe Life, official life insurance of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. New episodes available now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
All right, if you think you got what it takes to beat Marcus and I in fantasy football, then come on out here to Morongo and give it a shot. We got our Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off coming up after the show, and there is a very large football championship ticket prize at the end of all of this. So that is what you think it is. We just can't say the word. So you know what it is. The football championship is what you think it is. So if you think you got it and you're around, come on through and see if you got what it takes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. So, yeah, come on out, hang out. We'll see. What is it? The face-off?
The face-off.
The Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off. That's what I keep glancing over. Not just because you're a very handsome man, Marcus,
thank you.
and I like looking at your face.
Thank you.
But I'd like to have the reminder along the way.
I will say, cheat code here, because I'm like, you have to beat one of them. So,
how many leagues are you in?
I have not taken the full accounting. Last year it was, I think, 12.
Okay.
And every year I keep trying to get out of leagues, and like I will erase one league, and then I get invited to like 2 more. You know, it's like I get a text like, "Hey, we just need one more person. You think you can jump in?" I'm like, "Okay, fine."
How, have you been playing for your whole life?
Not really. So I played. My first one I played when I was in college, my freshman year of college. Back before the internet was really a thing, when we had to physically call in our lineups to our commissioner and leave voicemail, leave answering machine messages. Then I actually kind of took a break, and I started playing again years later. I moved to Fresno for work, and like a coworker got me involved. And I was like, you know what? This is at least a way for me to meet people in a city I don't know, and that's sort of how I jumped in. But I never really played like competitively. I played mostly socially until I got this job.
When you were working in minor league baseball, because I know that baseball teams usually have a pretty competitive fantasy football thing going on for a lot of their rosters. Do you do that?
We didn't do it then. No.
Okay.
No, we, especially because, in the minors, like once the season is over in September, everybody kind of breaks up and scatters and goes their own way. But yeah, it's didn't do it. But now that I've done it, I've met a lot of former NFL players who've kind of gotten into it as well.
I'm always struck by like Maurice Jones-Drew, avid fantasy player.
Yep.
Kirk Morrison, who I worked with for years and years, avid fantasy
player.
Sua, avid fantasy player. Like DeMarco, not at all. Keyshawn, not at all. Like it's just like they're either all in or all out.
Yeah, no, it's kind of exactly what it is. I mean, I love Maurice Jones-Drew. He was playing fantasy while he was still playing in the NFL, and he would always draft himself first.
Of course he did.
And I remember this is before he and I met and were co-workers. I had a chance to interview him. He was in the middle of a holdout. And he was doing kind of a big press junket, and the one rule was that you couldn't ask him specifically about the holdout. So the question I asked him was, if I'm playing fantasy football, should I draft you in the first round this year? Like, hey, hint, hint, are you going to be playing come week 1? Yeah. And he was very, very cagey and said, yeah, of course you should draft me. I mean, I always draft me. I'm absolutely drafting me. I'm like, you didn't really tell me anything, but thanks, man.
Was it hard for you to draft a Bruin?
No.
Not really, because there weren't. Here's the thing: there weren't a lot of them that were fantasy
Useful.
relevant at
Yeah,
the time, so it was kind
Mo
of
might have been
easy.
the
He
exception
was about the
to
only
the rule.
one. Yeah.
So how did you get roped into this whole Cappy fantasy thing? I heard about that.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
paying you, or what was up with that?
Yeah, we've worked out an arrangement. Like he is the general manager. He's director of player personnel. And then I'm essentially the head coach.
Okay.
I have to do all the actual in-game weekly management.
Are you operating in the shadows, or can you do this up front? Is the league cool with you being in it? Do we know?
Yeah, well, I'm an ESPN employee now,
Okay.
so like now the rules are a little bit different. So
Okay.
yeah, so I think I can do this. Not so clandestine.
Okay, good. Let's go back to the Lakers for half a second, because I want to play something for you. This is Brian Windhorst again talking about Josh Kushner owning a piece of the Miami Heat and how he has to divest of that before he can come to the Lakers.
Here's something else that is true. Josh Kushner is a minority owner of the Miami Heat and previously was a minority owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, and therefore has been approved to have that by the NBA. He has been vetted on some level by the NBA and approved by the NBA to own pieces of two different teams. In fact, he will have to sell his share of the Miami Heat, which, by the way, the Heat don't sell shares very often. That's a very closely held team. That's neither here nor there. He will have to sell the shares of the Miami Heat before he can buy the Lakers. That potentially could take some time, as a side note.
Okay, that makes sense to me, right? Because listen to what Wendy just said right there. Had a piece of the Grizzlies, okay, NBA team, but, towards the bottom. Got a piece of the Heat. Pretty good team with a legacy run by Pat Riley. That's a very, very high functioning NBA team, and now the crown jewel of the league, the Los Angeles Lakers. I climbed the ladder of NBA ownership, and it obviously means that the NBA is good business, and it obviously means that he at least enjoys the business of the NBA, Josh Kushner. So I think that and pre-cleared as far as buying one of these teams, all good. But the first thing I thought of when you just kind of go through those processes is, Mark Walter was at the top for a half a minute and just said, no, I'm out. And I just keep coming back to the first question of all of this is, why did this happen as quickly as it happened? Because the thing that just doesn't make that I don't want to say I don't believe, but it's just hard for me to process is Mark Walter is a billionaire many, 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 many times over. Mm-hmm. To just flip it for a couple more billion, and I know that sounds stupid, but what difference does it make when you have, and I don't know how much he has, when you have 10, does 12 change your life that much? I don't think so. So why get out that quickly? I understand the guy climbing the ladder, but the guy that got to the top and just said, you know what, I don't think so, I'm out. That's the first place I go back to.
Well, and I think it's that question that has spawned so many other questions. It's because, you're right. You get a team like the Lakers, and that's a thing you hold on to for a long time. I mean, look at how long the organization stayed in the Buss family. And, look, granted, when Jerry Buss originally took it over, it was not, it was nice, but he built it into something. Sure he made it into what it is now, and that thing stayed in the family forever. And so, you look around and, look at the Yankees, for instance, right? They're still in the Steinbrenner family, and they're going to be there for a long time.
So that private equity group gets in there, which they're talking about.
Which is probably going to happen, you know what I mean? And I think eventually, I think, fortunately or unfortunately, how you look at it, private equity is probably going to get into a lot of things when it's all said and done. But, these marquee franchises, the Lakers, the Yankees, the Cowboys, they're the ones that you hold on to for a while because of what they mean, both financially and just culturally. And so when you have a guy like Mark Walter who gets in, takes over the Lakers, and immediately, it's not like flipping a house.
No,
right?
That's the thing, and I'm so glad you said it because it's the cultural relevance of it to me that's so interesting. That him being richer in those circles,
whatever.
Okay. Owning the Lakers? Yeah. You walk in with your chest out, right? Like, man, not only do I own the Dodgers, not only I win 2 World Series in a row and counting, but, I just bought the Lakers, too. It's like, I'm the man in this room, in a room filled with massive egos and money and everything else. Like, that is one of those things, not everybody can have that. Only one person can have that. Yeah. And he had it for 5 minutes. It's just weird.
And that's the biggest thing for me because – as somebody who was very invested in what was coming next for the Lakers, and he gave no indication of, hey, I'm here for a hot second to flip and go and make whatever. Again, $2.5 billion, it seems so small for him. For us, it's like, whoa, right? But for someone like that, it's pennies. And knowing that there's so much more and just being a curious mind, I'm like, I want to know what so much more is, because there has to be.
Well, and I mean, again, that's why we go from that. That's why you go from that to, so what does this mean for the Dodgers? So what does this mean for the current front office of the Lakers? What does this mean for X, Y, and Z? Because it doesn't quite compute for most of us.
Well, what does it mean for the Dodgers? Let's do that coming up. Let's call it in 15 minutes. We'll do that at 5 o'clock and just kind of the ripples on the pond and what all of that means, because everybody says, no, it's just the Lakers. Okay, anybody think the Lakers are going to get sold yesterday? Like, I just keep coming back to that same point. So we'll do that coming up in a minute. I think one of the things that we were excited about for the Lakers relative to the Dodgers was the fact that the Dodgers, I don't know if they were that much smarter than everybody else, or Shohei Ohtani's previous team was not as smart as everyone else, but the money that they unlocked by signing Shohei, but clearly they were able to monetize Ohtani in a way that the Angels were not, right? So, and I understand Dodgers and Angels are not exactly the same thing, but they're at least cousins, right? And what the money that was coming in for the Angels didn't change the bottom line at all. The second the Dodgers signed Ohtani, the thing took off like a rocket. And they were already really good with him, but you see the kind of money that they're spending and everything else. So the idea of going over there to the Lakers and finding a way to turn on that money again, I think was part of my appeal with the Walter Group. I think Bob Iger knows how to turn on the money.
Yeah.
So this is the one part of this that I am very bullish about, is that if there's just a business part of this that can be maximized, I think that Bob Iger is a really good choice to do that part of it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, too, because you talk about that, right? I mean, obviously, Shohei is an economy unto himself at this point. You wonder, can they do something similar with Luka? Like, I don't think you could ever do it with LeBron, because by the time LeBron got here, he was so established that I think it'd be hard to sort of, build that sort of thing off of him. But, maybe there's a chance to do something like that with Luka Dončić.
I hope so. And if there is a way to do it, I trust that this new group will find that way to do it, because for all the, we could go 100 rounds of what's wrong with baseball in it, but the Dodgers being able to do what they do in large part is because Ohtani just discovered a revenue stream that the Angels just were either incapable of unlocking or didn't know existed. Yep. And it took Dodgers 4 seconds to say, oh, we'll just take all here. He was paid for the second the ink was dry on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Just we'll go from there and get everything else done. All right. Little tip or no tip next, Laura?
Yes, sir.
Little tip or no tip from Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. It is the Fantasy Football Face-Off. We're live at the Sideline Bar. If you think you can beat Marcus in fantasy football, come on out and give yourself a chance, and some great prizes to do that as well. Tip or no tip is coming up next. You know who else I saw out at the event I was at today? My friend Mike Capozio. Mike Capozio, of course, is the man running Rotolo Chevrolet. He saw me pull in my beautiful Chevy Silverado, and he goes, I like that truck right there. I said, of course you do, Mike. I bought it from Rotolo Chevrolet the same way my son's car is from Rotolo Chevrolet, my daughter's car is from Rotolo Chevrolet, my other son's car is from Rotolo Chevrolet. This is what they do. They take care of people. They give you a great vehicle at a great price and customer service that you are never going to forget. This is why they've won Dealer of the Year 14 years in a row, because they know how to take care of people. They know how to make sure that you get exactly what you want, the price you want, and you feel good about it. Courteous, transparent, upfront. You're going to love your purchase from Rotolo Chevrolet. It's not far from where we're standing right here out at Morongo, right there in Fontana. 210 Freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You cannot miss it. And if you're not out here on this side of town, if you're not in Fontana, Riverside, 909, no problem. RotoloChevy.com. ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com. And whether you go online or whether you go into Rotolo Chevrolet, make sure they know that Travis sent you in to Rotolo Chevrolet.
Mornings in LA start with Sedano and Cap.
Here's my thoughtful approach. I still just can't freaking believe it.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour.
Weekdays
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. Choose from 5-piece dumplings original or chili crisp or a spicy boom boom taco. Pair it with your favorite premium beverage, including our new strawberry watermelon lemonade refresher. Both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
This is a legacy franchise. I'm going to pass it down. It's going to be in my family. It's such an unusual thing to have a transaction happen in this short of a period of time with a franchise of this magnitude, with a dollar figure of this magnitude.
The Morning Show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN Los Angeles.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. Choose from 5-piece dumplings original or chili crisp or a spicy boom boom taco. Pair with your favorite premium with beverage, including our new strawberry watermelon lemonade refresher. Both for just $5. Only at Waba Grill.
Yeah, I mean, the car's totaled. Who do you count on? The adjuster calls. Who do you count on? When you can't work, who do you count on? When your kid is hurt, who do you count on? Count on Jacob.
Again, that number is 800-345-6789. Just put it in your phone. Once you get it in your phone, then you don't have to think if one of these things happens to you. You counted on Jacob, and it worked out great for you.
Absolutely did. 800-345-6789. That's 800-345-6789.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Empower. Katie got a VIP box for the postseason. She worked with Empower to help her get good at money so she can be a little bad. She planned well and was able to bring the whole family.
Who wants homemade egg salad sandwiches?
Even Beth.
Horseradish? Anyone? How about some tuna on rye?
Oh, strike 3, Beth. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
It's around 4:45 in the Southland on the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. You know what that means? It's time for Tip or No Tip, presented by attorney Big Al.
Tip or no
tip with producer Laura. Tip or No Tip, presented by attorney Big Al. If you get in an accident, tip the scale in your favor. Make Big Al your first call. Don't go at it alone. Call 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123, or visit attorneybigalca.com. And now, with Tip or No Tip, here's producer Laura.
Thanks, Chris. And I want to try my luck at the slots. We'll see after the
If you find a Wonder Woman one, let me
I will definitely let you know, Trav, just because I'm not a huge gambler, but now I see it. All the lights, I'm like, okay, maybe.
That's how they get you.
That is
You know
how
what
they
I
get
miss about a casino? And when, like, this was 80s, 90s, when you would hear the quarters hitting the pan.
Mm-hmm.
The ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, free money, baby. Let's go.
Free money?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if there's anything such a thing. But, okay, so I wanted to bring the story up because I read it and I thought it was funny. I'm not a former athlete, so maybe you guys can attest to this. But Jaden Daniels informed LSU it can no longer use his name, image, and likeness. The family says that he feels very deeply disappointed and feels proudly disrespected that LSU gave Daniels' number to another player. He feels he's being treated differently than Joe Burrow. So that's the story. Now, I saw a tweet from StubHub. It's a Seahawks at Commanders game, okay? And he says, effective immediately, we will no longer offer tickets in groups of 5. Out of respect for Jaden Daniels, we're only doing 4 or 6 plus. Thank you for your understanding. So tip or no tip, I love when a big company trolls a player.
Tip. I mean, especially for something, this is petty. Like, I think on Daniel's part, this is just being petty. You know, who's to say that somebody won't come along and take number 9? That was Burrow's number in college. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet. But, you know, I don't think this is any disrespect on LSU's part. So, yeah, I think he deserves to be trolled a little bit on this one.
I like it when companies show a little personality. They're when they have, and especially if their social media or something like that is run well and has a voice, a point of view. I think it can be really fun. I don't have a huge problem with them giving Jaden Daniels numbers to another player. I do think it's worthy of a call to Jaden Daniels in saying, hey, listen, I think he's number 5. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This kid wants 5. What do you think about that? And then gauge the reaction. It doesn't mean if he says no, you still can't go ahead and do it, but you understand that you might be stepping on a bear trap at that point.
Right.
But look, I was never. I know DeMarco is incredibly protective of his number. Like it means the world to him. So, it's hard for me to put myself in those shoes. Maybe Joe Burrow's number is retired and Daniels isn't, or it's just Fernando's number wasn't retired until a few years ago, but nobody wore it after him. It was one of those we're just going to kind of wait until the official moment comes along. But it's hard to kind of jump in those guys' head because it means more to them than I could possibly understand.
I think it's interesting too because certain franchises or certain colleges treat certain numbers differently, right? Where look at USC. If you're a linebacker wearing number 55, you have to be a special.
Be pretty good.
You better be really good if you're wearing 55, right? But I've known that, with the Dallas Cowboys, right? A wide receiver wearing 88, sort of a similar thing where Michael Irvin was like, I don't want you to retire my number. He's like, I want somebody else great to come along and wear number 88 so that when they see CeeDee Lamb or Des Bryant, they also think about Michael Irvin because I wore that number too. So I think it just, to your point, I guess it depends on the player, depends on the team. It's all sort of different.
I like that. Let's use SC and the Dodgers as the Dodger threshold is basically you need to be in the Hall of Fame. There are a couple of exceptions to that, but they're extreme examples. One guy had to die, and another guy's Fernando Valenzuela. Those are the only two. And Fernando, while maybe not a Hall of Famer, is a Hall of Famer in the city of Los Angeles. His cultural impact and everything else. So, we're not just doing it because this guy. SC win the Heisman Trophy, we take it off the board. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy. Like if he wants to say, I don't think anybody can do it. The problem with this is, and as I see it though, everybody's on a new team every year. And Jaden Daniels came from ASU.
Yes.
Like it's not like he was born in Baton Rouge and spent his whole life there to go win a Heisman Trophy. And he played his tail off, but yeah, I think that's a very personal thing for those guys.
Yeah, again, not my thing, but I just thought it was, to Marcus's point, a little petty. All right, so I've been eyeing this Wahlburgers. I ain't gonna lie, it smells really good. And I just wanted to. I've actually never had one. My friend, when he found out I was a Morongo, he was like, "Oh my God, you've never had a Wahlburger? You must try one," and then gave me his recommendation. So I want to know, tip or no tip, you guys have actually tried a Wahlburger? They're not out here a lot.
No tip.
Right?
I have not tried one.
No tip for me.
Oh, okay.
No, I've seen that. I don't know what channel it's on, but there was like a reality
show, right?
show based on the burger chain. But no, I haven't had the pleasure.
Yeah, because I thought they were only like in the East Coast.
They're from Boston.
They're from Boston.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you guys are, especially you
opportunity right there.
So if you guys catch me on that side, if I disappeared, you guys know why. All right. So talking about StubHub, I know I love the tweet, but California is trying to take a swing at ticket scalpers. Okay, it's ridiculous. We talk about how expensive it is to go to a baseball game or an NBA game, NFL game, whatever. But concerts are just as ridiculous. I went to the Kendrick concert, paid way above whatever the face value was for it, but I really wanted to go. So California has proposed a California Fans First Act, so it's a bill that would cap the resale price of tickets to certain concerts and live events at 10% above face value. Some people are saying it's great, some are saying it's not because it's only to certain concerts and live events. But I want to know, tip or no tip, you'd rather miss the concert or event than pay the scalper?
I don't know. I'm going to say no tip. Because I feel like the scalpers might be a better deal than like some of the secondary markets nowadays, where especially for big concerts, big sporting events, those things get bought up real quick by the bots and the secondary market, and then they turn those around and sell them at a higher price. At least the scalpers, you get close enough to showtime, they just want to part with that ticket.
Yeah, they don't want to get nothing.
Right. So that might be a better deal in the long run.
Yeah, it's funny. First of all, they can pass whatever law they want. They're still going to scalp them. It'll just go to the black market and whatever. Like, you can't stop people from selling them what they want. Back in the day, it was there'd be a guy kind of standing there, you're selling, you're buying. Yeah. It's just, because that's how it would go. And you're like, yeah, I got Tim. What do you got? Okay, nah, that sucks. And you'd go on to the next guy.
Right.
And that's just kind of the way that it would go. look, this is kind of off topic a little bit, but it reminded. This kind of goes back to the Lakers. Just sold for $12.5 billion after selling for $10 billion 5 minutes previously. You don't think they're going to get that money back?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that money is not coming from nowhere. It's coming from Marcus. It's coming from Laura. It's coming from Travis. And it might cost your beer, might cost a little bit more, but your tickets are going to cost more, whether they're on the secondary market or whatever. And we're getting to the point where, and I get it. Capitalism, I understand, the market will determine the price. If everybody said, I'm not buying them, okay, then the prices will come down. Dodger Stadium is full.
Yep.
Crypto.com is full. SoFi Stadium is full. Mm-hmm. That until it's not, they're just going to keep going up and up and up. And, I mean, when you see these prices for these teams, it's just like, going to a Dodger game is a big swing.
Look,
now.
we've gotten to a point where, and I haven't been to spring training in a couple of years. I used to go regularly. To the point that you have scalpers out in front of spring training games.
It's expensive in
spring
training.
It's like regular prices almost.
So, I mean, not shameless plug, but I mean, if you can't afford to go to a Dodger game, again, shameless plug, go see an Ontario Tower Buzzers. It's a great product. It is way cheaper. Obviously, it's a single A team, but it's a great time, and you'll get that itch scratched.
Yes, I agree with 98% of what you're saying.
It is different.
Shohei Ohtani isn't there.
Well,
Mookie Betts isn't there. Clayton Kershaw isn't there. LeBron James isn't. You know what I mean? It's like it's fun and it's a great day out and you can have a beer and you can sit in the sun and you can see guys play baseball and it's awesome and I agree with you. But it's like I want to see Shohei, man.
And I don't don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Like
it is.
You know what I mean? My niece, who's 20 years old and doesn't have a care in the world, is like, I'm going to Dodger game. I'm like, girl, how do you afford that?
Yeah.
Like, how are you affording going to Dodger games? Because I work 3 jobs and I'm out here trying to figure out the math and make the girl math work, right? Which we talked about. It is hard, and you're right. I will find a way to do it because I want to.
You want to go. You want to see it.
I want to see Ohtani. I want to go see Puka, and now I want to go see Myles Garrett play with the Rams and all those things, but. It is something that you have to contemplate, like, how are we going to make this happen? And I'm one of one, right? Or, my boyfriend and I will figure it out together. But Briones has 2 little ones and a wife. Like, how do you have to make that decision?
I mean, I did that this past January. Went to a Laker game with, the family, right? My wife and my son and I. It was, Lakers. Yeah, it was the Bucks. Giannis was just back from injury.
Well, that's bad planning on your part.
I mean,
where you work.
Well, here's the thing. Look, it was a birthday gift. It was a whole thing, right? But, it was not cheap for 3 tickets to go see Lakers-Bucks.
Not getting any cheaper either.
No, it really isn't. So, really quick before, because I know we're pushing up against it. So, the White Sox, I don't know if you guys saw, had one of the hottest giveaways in baseball, which was the Pope hat.
Awesome.
They were initially only planning to sell 2,500 special ticket packages for the hat. People went insane. They got messages. So instead, they went and ordered $40,000 hats. So essentially, everyone at the game could get their hat. I love this. Okay, I'm not a White Sox fan, but the fact that they're like, you know what, we're just gonna do this, and everybody's gonna get a hat. We talked about this all the time. We see these lines going back to the Dodgers, right? For the bobbleheads, just give everybody one. Give everybody one. They did exactly the right thing. So I'm not even going to tip or no tip this because I thought that was going to be my no tip or no tip. I just feel like they played the hand correct.
Well, the White Sox played the hand correct by having the Pope be a White Sox fan.
Because
right? The White Sox had lost 100 games, 3 years in a row, and now they're flirting with a playoff spot.
I mean, they set the record for most losses in a season a couple years ago.
124 or something,
something like that, right? Yeah.
And now the Pope's out there doing what Popes do, and the White Sox are in first place or close to it. And I honestly forgot that the Pope was A, an American, and B, a White Sox fan. That's a cool look.
There's a photo of him floating around there from the 2005 World Series.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right?
It's amazing.
He's just in the stands at the World Series.
You don't think of the Pope as like a guy.
But
you think of him as like some guy that's just plucked out of thin air. But he's a White Sox.
He's a guy.
He's a Southsider. He's a Southsider. Tip or no tip is brought to you by attorney Big Al. If you get in an accident, tip the scale in your favor. Make Big Al your first call. Don't go it alone. Call 1-800-HURT-123 or visit attorneybigalca.com. All right. back to the Laker conversation, but we're going to morph it into a bit of a Dodger conversation. The Lakers are sold. What gets sold next? That's coming up. It's DeMarco and Travis. Marcus is here for DeMarco. We are live from Morongo Casino Resort and Spa for the Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off. If you think you can beat Marcus, come on out and give it a shot. That's coming up next.
The home of the Lakers. And now the home of the Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon. KSPN Los Angeles. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
The personalities you know.
The teams you love.
First down throw, right side screen. Puka with blockers. The 10, the 5. Now they're cooking with gas. Touchdown Puka Nacua. Touchdown LA. From down 21.
The teams you love.
The station you spend time with every day.
LA's mega sports station.
ESPN LA 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Looking for a vodka with standards? Blue Ice delivers. American made from Idaho potatoes, gluten-free, non-GMO, and only 64 calories an ounce. Enjoy the classic Huckleberry with lemonade or award-winning double espresso. Blue Ice vodka, premium taste, nothing extra.
Hey, it's Mason. For the ultimate immersive sports experience, get into Cosm. Take MLB to a new level. Experience the game like never before. The Cosm Dome, a massive 87-foot wraparound high-resolution display with reserved booth-style seating. The Cosm Hall features wall-to-wall sports, and check out classic films like Harry Potter, Willy Wonka, and The Matrix in the Dome. And for summer nights, the Cosm Deck is the perfect place to grab your favorite cocktail. For more information, go to Cosm.com, and I'll see you at Cosm.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNLAcontests.com.
That's ESPNLAcontests.com.
You know, in sports, you got to have the right team in your corner. Same goes for after an accident. That's why when people ask me who to call, I say it's easy. I tell them to call my guy. I got a guy. Attorney Big Al. Big Al's been helping accident victims across California for more than 15 years. He's an LA native, a huge sports fan. Wait till you hear him go. And he knows that after a crash, things get overwhelming fast. Between dealing with insurance companies trying to rip you off, trying to get your car fixed, trying to find the right doctors if you're hurt, it can be a lot. It can turn your whole world upside down. That's where Big Al and his team will step in for you. So lock this number in your phone. 1-800-HURT-123. 1-800-HURT-123. They'll help guide you through the process, protect your rights, and help you understand what you may be entitled to. And here's the biggest thing. Don't let the insurance company call the plays. Call 1-800-HURT-123 or visit attorneybigalca.com.
Attorney Big Al's attorney Ken Klein, based in Los Angeles.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
You know what? I blew it earlier today.
Oh, no.
When, did you ask me something? Oh, no, it was Greg that asked me about my suit. Right? Because I went to the oral thing tonight. I said, well, I wore the one suit that I fit. And my good friend Nicole, who helped me pick out this suit and helped me fit this suit, she said, no, you're supposed to say you have one incredible suit that Nicole helped you pick out.
There it is.
So, Nicole, you are right, Nick. I apologize. And if you want to get in touch with her, you can call me and we'll go from there. So I made it right, Nick.
Okay, so I have a question for the men here. My boyfriend is very, very particular with suits and, like, how he dresses when he goes somewhere. And I'm just like, bruh, it's pants and a shirt. Like, how hard can it be? So now that you said someone helped you pick the suit, it's not that easy. I mean, it's
not that easy for me. I think that there are other people that have their own sense of these things that can pick it up, put it together in a sense. I'm not your man.
Oh.
I can't do it. Can you do it?
I think I can. Like, I know what I like, right? But I will always ask.
Yeah.
You know, like, I will ask my wife, just to get another set of eyes on it, to get her opinion of it. But I do know what I like, so I can kind of say, like, hey, I'm feeling this. I think this is good.
Okay.
What do you think? It also helps, like, with accessories. You're talking about suits, like, different colored shirts, or if you want to do ties or
Shoes.
pocket squares or shoes or stuff like that. Like it's always good to get advice to accessorize.
I will say, so I love this suit because I've seen
It's Dodger blue.
Yes, it is. And I think I've mentioned that to you before. But because, again, with men, like most men wear like black for the most part. I know some guys kind of venture out in other colors. And with my boyfriend, it's mainly black, and he'll accessorize different color shirts, ties, whatever, right? The little handkerchief thing. But my thing is, it looks like the same black pants. And he got really upset when he was like, no, they're different. And
He has a sports coat and pants, not a suit.
So like, yeah,
he has like a full suit, and then he has the pants. But see, I thought it was just all the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no. He's like, are your sneakers the same as heels? I'm like, well, no. Are your jeans the same as a skirt? Well, no. He's like, it's kind of the same. I'm like, but they're black.
But
You know what I mean?
But I sort of get it, because I have a black suit, but I also just have like black slacks, and like.
Kind of look the same to me.
They sort of do, but they may be different materials, or one may have like a pattern or a texture or something like that. Exactly. Exactly. So I would also say, ideally, you would have a black suit, a blue suit, and then one just like kind of a lighter one. A lighter one.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
I feel like I need to get hip on all these.
Or if you just put on weight like crazy like me, and then you can buy them all the time because you're too lazy to go on your walk, and you can go figure it out from there. Lakers sold out of the blue, right? It's so rare where we get a story nowadays that literally catches everybody flat-footed. Where it's like you had the same reaction I did, Marcus, which when I saw that the Lakers were sold, I'm like, why is a story from a year and a half in my timeline?
Like, did I miss something?
Yeah, like this is weird.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, phone starts blowing up. You're like, oh my gosh, they sold again. And you talk to people in and around the league. You talk to other people that are covering it, and other than Ramona, it didn't feel like anybody was kind of on this. There were no whispers coming out. There was no, hey man, Mark Walter might need to sell. Like usually, that's the kind of stuff that bubbles up. The reason I kind of set it up like this, guys, is because while it feels like the Dodgers are on as solid a ground as they could possibly be, I think we would have said the same thing about the Lakers 2 days ago. And yet here we are, and we're talking about who knows what happened. Is it too big of a leap, Marcus, to think that the Dodgers, well, not like they're going to get sold today or tomorrow, but now all of a sudden the security and the stability, I guess, of the word is no longer what we would have thought it would have been just a couple of days ago?
No, I think it's an absolutely legitimate thought process. I mean, that was sort of where I went. I went through the whole, okay, wait, why is this old story showing up, to wait, no, this is actually real, this is actually happening, which, by the way, in a world where we have so many fake stories and AI, the fact that, Ramona Shelburne was the name attached to it was like, oh, no, this is legitimate. And so then once I figured out that part, really thought number two was, well, what does this mean for the Dodgers?
Yep.
I mean, like if the owner of the Lakers, who also owns the Dodgers, is divesting of this major property and doing it so quickly and so suddenly, it can't help, at least in my mind, but to have a ripple effect across all the other parts of his portfolio, and that means the Dodgers.
And it's impossible. And again, let just to be super clear and obvious about all of this, we're just thinking out loud. Nobody knows anything, no allegations, none of that stuff. But the quick sale of the team, the need for liquidity quickly, combined with a different, perhaps unrelated story, perhaps not, of his business being investigated by the feds for tax fraud, makes you go, oh, okay. And now it's like, okay, does he need the cash real quick for that? Does he need it for something else? Did he just get an offer that he literally couldn't refuse? All possible, all, certainly in there. But if it's one of the things that is not just, hey, man, that's an offer. I made $2 billion in a year. Like, there's no other way to do it. I did it, and okay. If it's anything other than that, now all of a sudden all this other stuff's in play.
It is, but even if it was just that, right? Like, hey, somebody just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Who would, like, why would you even think to make the offer, right? Because if we were sitting here just a few days ago thinking, okay, this thing is rock solid, they're building something, like the guy who helped build this Dodger franchise to where it is also going to do the same thing with the Lakers. Like, it's just, because it happened so recently, like it's like if the house down the street from you just sold, right?
Yeah.
And they put a whole bunch of money into it, you wouldn't immediately think, oh, let me just go make an offer on that. Like, no,
Right.
they're going to move in. They're going to do something. And so, like, I wouldn't necessarily think, I'm going to just turn around and, like, offer this guy $12 billion for this thing he just bought. Like, it would never occur to me at that point.
And the part that my brain, after all of that, I think we were thinking about this similarly, is this is why this window of Dodger baseball, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
And the idea, well, is Tarek Skubal a bridge too far? Do you really need Blake Snell? Well, do you really need Kyle Tucker? Well, do you really need Edwin Diaz? Well, it's like, who knows when
we may
it comes
never
to
pass
an
this
end?
way again.
Who knows when the next person shows up and says, I'm going to run it like Frank McCourt, or maybe not even like Frank McCourt. Maybe it's like Artie Moreno, or it's most of these other owners in baseball that I think if you took the 30 teams, there are maybe 10 of them that are desperate to win. I think there are 10 more that maybe would like to win, but what it's going to cost. And then there are 10 more that I don't care, just give me my money. Yeah. I think it kind of breaks down into those categories. Well, if you get one of the other 20 that's not in the first 10, you don't get what we're looking at right now.
No. And look, I've been saying recently, too, that, like, when you have the team with the most money or with the deepest pockets and you combine that with the team that has the biggest willingness to win, that really is going after it, that's how you get the Dodgers. Because I think you look at the Brewers, right? The Brewers want to win. They built a really good machine. They're in Group 2.
Yeah.
They want to win, but it's I don't know that we can spin that. Right. That's exactly what it is.
I don't know.
So I mean, I think this week is going to be interesting at Dodger Stadium because it's two teams that very much are in line to win a World Series this year. One has the pockets and, like, they don't care. We will write the check. The other one's like,
they pumped the brakes. They had a chance to beat the Dodgers. And I'm not just saying just beat them in a best-of-7 game series. They had a chance to beat the Dodgers for the best thing on the market. They chose not to do it. Now, maybe the Dodgers would have doubled back and said, oh, yeah, we'll watch this. We'll throw another guy in there. They might have done that. But the Dodgers are a little judicious when it comes to this stuff, and they blinked. And they blinked on prospects, and they blinked on an opportunity to win. The Dodgers never blink. Now, who knows if Kyle Tucker, this deal goes rotten. It looks like he's coming alive. That's good news. Edwin Diaz has been flat bad since he's got here when he's played at all. The team's getting very old. Mm-hmm. The team is still very good, but Shohei Ohtani's not a young player. Freddie Freeman's not a young player. Mookie Betts isn't a young player. Max Muncy's not a young player. Will Smith's not a young player. Like, you just go those that's the team.
Right.
And all of those guys are older or not young. They're not all old, but none of them are young. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now what? Like, when this runs its course, what happens next? Now, with Mark Walter, I have no doubt that he will go find the next group. I have no doubt that Andrew Friedman will continue to draft and develop the way that he does. But if Walter is out and Friedman says, well, I don't want to work for the new, or whatever it may be, like, seizing this moment in Dodger baseball isn't just, oh, this is going to go on forever. It absolutely is not going to go on forever.
No. That's funny you say that, too, because that is a thing that comes with, I think, watching sports after a certain age. I go back to being a kid, right? And, when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, the A's went to the World Series 3 times in a row. They only won one, but they went 3 times in a row. And my 12-year-old brain is like, well, this is just how it's always going to be. The A's are always going to just be in the World Series. And you get a little bit older and you realize that's not the case anymore. So I'm kind of with you, right? You strike while the iron is hot. And so, again, that sort of makes it, you sort of cherish this where it is, right? And so now Mark Walter selling the Lakers sort of shakes that foundation a little bit. Like, what does this mean for the future? What if again, just sort of talking out loud, if he has to move on from the Dodgers, what does this mean for this current era? What does this mean, does Shohei Ohtani to say, you know what, I wanted to be here when Mark Walter was here. I don't want to be here anymore.
He's got a key-man clause in his deal.
Yeah.
I mean, which is if he goes, I can go if I'd like to. It doesn't mean he has to, but it means that he can along the way. I want to play this for you. Laura, tell me again what we have here, because it's kind of talking about the assets that Mark Walter has.
Right. So it's basically Brian Windhorst and Ramona kind of having a conversation and going through the process of this is what we know about Mark Walter. So, they talk about this is what he got the Lakers for. We don't think he was going to flip it. And it kind of gives you a sequence.
We know that Mark Walter didn't want to buy the Lakers for 1 year. It was a stepped process where he and his partners bought 27% of the Lakers in 2021, and they gave Jeannie Buss a 5-year transition window to remain as the governor, where after that they would do that. You don't do that if you're planning on flipping it. Okay, so we know that's a factor. Okay, I also want to say a couple other things. He bought the team. He owned 27%, and now they own Ramona about 77%. Is that correct?
I think that's right. The Buss family owns 17 or 18.
And Patrick Soon-Shiong owns about 7%. We don't know unless you
owns
do.
A little too, yeah.
We don't know unless you do how much a percentage they're selling.
I believe they're buying all of Mark's shares.
Okay. It's not, he didn't actually make $2 billion because he didn't pay $10 billion for the team. But I'm not going to get into all that. It has to do with valuations.
That is interesting because I go back to the very beginning of it. You don't buy this team just to flip it. You don't put these procedures in place like you're going to run this for 5 years and then we're going to take it over and we're going to buy a little bit here and we're going to buy a little bit more and we're going to buy a little bit more, and it just keeps coming back to the number one overall question, like, why did this happen? Yeah. And I guess that we're just going to keep guessing until something else happens or somebody writes the story or he talks. And the other thing I heard, and maybe he had a stroke, I think, not that long ago, and maybe his health is poor. Maybe it's just I don't want to do this anymore, but you're kind of grasping at straws at this stuff at some level.
Well, I think that's sort of where we all are right now, is just a whole lot of whys or what ifs and no real concrete anything to this whole thing. And I think for everybody that makes this whole thing confusing, frustrating, just very, very murky. I think especially when you talk about the Lakers specifically, because there was already so many unknowns with what this team was going to be actually on the basketball court, that now we've added in the unknown of like what happens in the front office.
I think there's so much. So I was very fascinated by this episode with Brian and Ramona and Tim McMahon, just kind of diving. There's a lot of nitty gritty things in there. And for me, it's the fact that he said he doesn't actually make $2.5 billion, right? So, again, we're all speculating as to why it was sold, why he might need the money, just the liquid funds, right? If whatever he needs that for and whatever he got for the Lakers isn't enough, then you start looking at other assets, which are the Dodgers. And they even talked about, one of the quotes was, if all the things that Mark Walter owns that he's going to sell, even the Dodgers, even the F1 team, and even his insurance companies or whatever, and then they talk about that the only thing that made sense to go 20% in value was the Lakers, and it just talks about what that franchise is. Again, goes back to the original question of, like, why would you let go of it?
I again, the ins and outs of the valuations and the finance and percentages and all these like that. There's a reason I do this for a living and not that. I don't know.
Very nitty gritty. Yeah.
I don't know, and you could explain it to me 100 times, and I'd say, yeah, I still don't know. I don't know, but I would think that if I were somebody in need of liquidity, the Dodgers and the Lakers would be the two last things that I would move. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not understanding how these other things move, but if I got an F1 team, I got a soccer team, I got these other things. Like, if I just need, let's just burn through this. Like, this is the last thing. Like, I'm sure we all have the one thing that means the most to us, right? The thing that we've worked the hardest to get, or the thing that has great sentimental value, or whatever it may be. Like, okay, I might have to sell this, I might have to do this, but I'm not, unless the world comes to an end, I'm not going to touch this. And you would think that the Lakers would be on that level, because there is no, unless you flipped them for the Dallas Cowboys, like what are we talking about here? There is nothing else like that.
Yeah, and I think I come back to with this, and we played the clip earlier where your Windhorse saying that it was suggested to someone to make an offer to Mark Walter about this. And it's like, so then that comes back to who suggested it? Why did they suggest it? What piece of information did they know or think they knew that said, hey, why don't you just lob a phone call and just see what would happen?
That has to be somebody at the most high levels of one or two places, because when you think about people like our friend Ramona, when you think about Shams, when you think about Windhorst, when you think about McMenamin, you think about all the other NBA reporters that are out there that have their ears to the ground in so many different things. If there was even a hint of the Lakers, hey, look, the Lakers might be up for the NBA world would blow up.
Right.
But Bob Iger knew that Josh Kushner knew. It's like, hey, you know what? That idea, if we're going to buy this anyway, let's just call over there because, somebody suggested, hey, you might want to call him. Okay. I mean, that's more than just a suggestion. That is a flat out, I need to get out of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the logic, then why aren't you just, let's lob a phone call to Jerry Jones. Let's lob a phone call to
Steinbrenners.
The Steinbrenners.
Yeah, I would say call the owners of the Dodgers. I already own those. Right. you can't call yourself. It is a weird deal. You mentioned it. The Dodgers actually tonight open a 4-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers. How much stock do you put in that? Like the results of these next 4 days? Some, none, a lot?
Some. Yeah. It's not nothing. I don't think it's a lot, but I do think it's some. I think what I would love to see is just sort of the intensity, because I think part of what you saw during that losing streak when they lost the 8 out of 9 is everybody gears up for them, and you saw a team that it's August. Obviously, you talk about them being older; they look just a little bit tired, but the Red Sox came to play. The Cubs came to play, and those teams and those fans treated it like it was a playoff series, and the Dodgers didn't really match that energy. So kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, I'd love to see them win, 3, maybe all 4 games in that series, but I just want to see, because the Brewers are going to come in with that sort of energy. Maybe it's because it's Pat Murphy as their manager. They sort of have the energy of a college baseball team.
He's a college coach.
Right? Yeah. Had a lot of success at Arizona State. I just want to see if the Dodgers can sort of match that energy on 4 nights in a row.
I completely agree with you, Marcus. But here, I keep coming back to this. Like we saw last year, I think what did they beat the Brewers twice during the regular season? Mm-hmm. Something like that. And the Dodgers don't really ride waves. They just kind of sit there and they play hard. Right. It's not like they go out there and just kind of, twiddle their thumbs and say, whatever, we don't give a damn. But you rarely see them super energized, and you almost never see them flat or down. I think that baseball adage that makes you just want to smash your head into the desk over and over again. Oh, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. That is a religion for those guys. They literally just, we're going to play another one tomorrow. Yeah, but you just beat the best pitcher. Yeah, I got another one tomorrow. Hey, you lost 11-0 and made 7 errors. Yeah, we got another one tomorrow. They just don't react to this stuff. So I kind of had just taken the cue from them. When I see the playoffs, you can tell that thing gets cranked up a little bit. The way that it gets managed is different. The way that the pitchers, I think, get used is a little different. And just the intensity of the at-bats feels a little different. I'd love to see that on Saturday with Mizorowski. Yeah. Because I think that's a really fun one to just say. And I mentioned this, Laura, 2 or 3 months ago when they had that 15-game lead in the division. It's not what it was, but it's still a pretty healthy lead. You have to trick yourself into making these a big deal even when they're not. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to play the Phillies, okay, let's see. That's a team we might have to play. We might have to play the Braves. We might have to play the Cubs. Like Mizorowski, there's not a lot of those guys, but that's the level of pitcher that you're probably going to have to beat at least once to win a series. That's what I'm looking for in this.
I'm looking forward to that one. I think Sunday is Skubal versus Logan Henderson, which should be another really, really good one. Because I think that one, because that legitimately could be a pitching matchup you would see in a playoff series.
If Skubal has another, that's all right. Is it still he's fine?
He's still fine.
How many, that was all right, in a row would you have to have hey, he's going to show up and be an ace, right? Because I'm with you 100%. If you said to me tomorrow, pick one pitcher on the planet you got to go win a game with, I think Yamamoto would be my first choice. Mm-hmm. Skubal might be the second.
Yeah, I mean, look, he could do this all the way up until October, right? I mean, I still think, even if we go through September and he gives you a bunch of 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, kind of I'm still fine, as long as he turns it up when the lights come on in October, then that's when I care.
You can feel free to tell me to shut up when I say this, and mostly because of just bad karma, and you don't talk about the thing when the thing is happening. So if you can just shoot me a look as I start to ask this question.
Okay.
Is Mookie Betts back?
So we talked about it this morning on the Blue Review, right?
He's looked like Mookie the last few days.
He has, and I said this morning on the Blue Review, I'm not ready to say Mookie Betts is back, but he's on a heater right now for sure. And the longer this heater stays around, I'm happy for it. I think I don't know if this is just who Mookie Betts is now, where he just is going to have these highs and these lows, these ups and these downs. But he's absolutely on a heater.
Got going last year.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like this time last year, he said, blanket, my season's over. I just want to do what I can to help the ball club. And it just, I don't know, at that point, it just seemed like the weight was lifted off of him.
I think it's one of the reasons I love baseball as much as I do. It's that it is such a mind blank.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are one of the best in the world, and Mookie Betts is, or at least was for a very long period of time, there are times where you are convinced, no matter how good you're, like, I'm never going to get a hit again.
Yeah.
Like, I am literally, that's it. I'm never getting a hit. And it's not dramatic. It's not like you deeply believe it in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do this again. And then one little stupid little flare falls in over the first baseman's head, and you're like, that's all it is? And then the next thing you know, you're hitting laser beams all over the ballpark, and it feels like he's in the middle of one of those.
It is why I believe baseball players are the most superstitious people on earth. Because it's just, I will never forget, like, talking to a guy, he somehow had some napkins in his back pocket, and that helped him get out of a slump. And he's like, hey, can you just grab me some more of these napkins?
The only ones that'll put up there, and I think baseball players would win, but I think it would be, we'd go into extra innings perhaps, golfers.
Yeah.
Golfers get weird about the things that they do, too, like where the ball has to be placed and the club's in the bag and stand on this side and not on that side. But it should be an incredible series. Roki tonight, and he's kind of settled in. I think that, this idea that he was going to show up and be a phenom and just light it up the way that Yamamoto did, it's like, pump the brakes. Like, Yamamoto was a made man in the second best league in the world. Sasaki's a young guy trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem was the way the Dodgers sort of sold him to the fan base, kind of gave us these expectations of what we thought he would be, and he just was not. But he's starting to settle in. Curious to see him tonight because this is a Brewer lineup that is just, I think pesky is the word to describe them. I mean, they've got some guys who can mash.
Great word.
But they are going to, they're going to foul the ball off. They're going to just put balls in play. They're going to get on base. They're going to try and irritate you. So I'm curious to see how he sort of handles that tonight.
I've said this before, that if Roki Sasaki was named Rick Smith and he wasn't a Japanese player on the heels of Ohtani and Yamamoto, nobody would know his name. Yeah. Like he would have been River Ryan or
Justin Wroblewski, maybe.
Justin Wroblewski, like, okay, let's see what he's got. Yeah, but because, okay, they got Ohtani and the thing goes, nuclear. Yamamoto shows up and is like, is that the best pitcher in baseball? Might be. And it's like, oh, we got another one. And it's like, well, no, he's different. Like, he's just getting started in this whole thing. All right, we're going to do a little straight up coming up next. We are here at Morongo Casino Resort and Spa for the Fantasy Football Face-Off. If you think you can beat Marcus in fantasy football, we will find out coming up in just a little bit. It's DeMarco and Travis, 710 ESPN.
And if you do think you have what it takes, come and make a day at Morongo. Kick back, cool off, and rent a day bed or cabana at the Oasis Pool and Lazy River, because sometimes doing absolutely nothing is exactly the plan. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, good times.
How are ya? It's Dr. Robert Clapper. Guess what? The Weekend Warriors Show is back Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA, thanks to Cedars-Sinai. Cedars-Sinai is a global leader in orthopedics, offering a range of solutions in all orthopedic subspecialties to get you back to doing the things you love. Don't miss the Weekend Warriors Show with me, Dr. Clapper, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
National Tell a Joke Day is coming up. I got one. Why did Rick cross the 10 freeway? To get to Morongo. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
We're the Fantasy Football HQ for draft parties. Book your draft party today.
Number 2.
We're giving away a 2026 Mustang GT Fastback. Earn entries now, and you could drive off a winner the 31st.
And the number 1 reason.
Good times.
Morongo, good times.
Hey, LA and OC, if you love great food and smart prices, you need to know about Wild Fork Foods. Hosting, grilling, you just want a great dinner? Start at Wild Fork Foods. Find your local SoCal store at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork, quality meat and seafood, low prices, largest variety in one store.
Call Jacob.
Listen, Cappy, I've been in an accident, you've been in an accident. It's a very traumatizing situation, okay? We've all been there. And the reality is, we tell people all the time because we would do it too, okay? When we get into an accident, we will call one person. We count on Jacob because Jacob is the man you can trust. He's been doing it for people in LA for nearly 3 decades.
Right. 1-800-345-6789. That's how you call Jacob. And by the way, we talk about car accidents a lot. It's not just car accidents. You could be in a grocery store and slip and fall. You could be walking across the street as a pedestrian and get hit by a car. You could be on a motorcycle and you could get hit. It's not just purely being in a car accident. Any kind of an accident, that's why you call Jacob.
Right, and I counted on Jacob when the insurance company changed their tone with me. I'm like, whoa. You know what? I don't think I need to talk to you. I think I need to call Jacob. That's when I counted on Jacob, Cappy.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob. 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
All right, we're going to do a little straight up right here. And let me ask you guys this. Let's start with this. Have you ever had a situation, because I had this happen to me today, where you are both incredibly grateful and thrilled to be included in a thing and simultaneously been thinking to yourself the whole time that you are an imposter and you do not belong in that room?
I'm sure I have. I mean, like, I can't think of anything that immediately jumps to mind, but I'm certain that has happened to me.
Because that's exactly what it was for me today. Earlier today, I went into Hollywood, and they revealed Oral Hershiser's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6755 Hollywood Boulevard, which is 59 scoreless innings plus the 8 scoreless innings he threw in the postseason to get to 67, plus the number 55, which he wore. So they put him in exactly the right spot at 67-55. But before the ceremony, all of the people that were going to speak at this thing, and I did not speak, but on the people that had been invited by Oral and the people in Oral's universe to come in and celebrate this incredible accomplishment of his together, were we were at this restaurant together at the beginning, and then right before the ceremony started, we were kind of in this, like, for lack of a better word, kind of this holding pen area. And I'm sitting there, and I've gotten to the point where with Oral, I'm comfortable, and just been around him enough to know that, okay, that's somebody that I can legitimately say is a friend of mine, and he would recognize my face from across the room, so I'm good. I'm like, that's Bob Costas right there. I don't know, man. And wait. Oh, my God, that's Clayton. That's Dave Roberts. That's Miguel Rojas. Like, oh, there's Jaime Jarrín. Like, it's just one. I mean, literally, Clayton Kershaw's not in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. Jaime Jarrín is a Hall of Famer. You look at these guys. Bob Costas is a Hall of Famer. He is in the Hall of Fame as well in the broadcasting wing. And you're just going through these guys. And then you're seeing guys like Mickey Hatcher and Dave Anderson and these guys that were part of these Dodger teams. And it is such an out-of-body experience to be sitting there just chit-chatting with these guys. Like, maybe you run into somebody in a restaurant, hey, how you doing? Good to meet you, or whatever. Or you know, we all do this for a living. You interview somebody, but there's an understanding. I'm here to ask you questions. You're here to give me answers, and then we go our separate ways, and it's all over from that point. This is also, where do you live? Your kid? What are your kids up to? Oh, my kids are in high school. This, like, it was so damn awesome, And yet at the same time, it's so incredibly weird to be looking around this room with all of these amazing people.
So mine is a little bit different, but every year, there's the baseball winter meetings, but at the same time, there's also a minor league job fair. And so this is early in my career. I just knew I wanted to work in baseball. And so I traveled, I think that year was in Nashville. I saved up my pennies. I flew out to Nashville. And so you're there with a whole bunch of other scrubs like me trying to find a job somewhere in the minor leagues. But because the major league winter meetings are going on, you are still crossing paths and rubbing elbows with people, right? So I'm checking into my hotel, and behind me in line is Dusty Baker, or I get in the elevator and Andre Dawson is there. Or I'm sitting at a table and Brian Cashman, who was relatively new as the GM of the Yankees. I think they'd won one World Series at that point. Brian Cashman sits down at our table and just starts talking to us for 15 minutes, right? And it's like, here I am, I'm just a guy, just trying to find a job and figure out my life. And you're talking to
So
people
perfect.
that you grew up watching, and you're just like, I remember watching Andre Dawson do things, right? Do major things. I watched Dusty Baker. He was, he was starting his managerial career at that point, but it was kind of one of those I can't believe I'm really here
what
right
am I
now.
doing here?
Right? Why am I here?
This is so amazing, and now I think it's a little bit different now because every game is on every night.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see it, you can see it, right? No matter what the sport, no matter where it's being played, if you want to watch it, it's right here on your phone. Find the stream, watch it. When I was a younger person, there was one game on TV a week.
Yeah.
Right? There was one. And it was on Saturday afternoon, and it was frequently the Dodgers. And you would sit there and watch it with this rapt attention to what was happening. And maybe Oral Hershiser pitched in that game that day. Maybe he did. Maybe Mickey Hatcher was playing. Maybe Dave Anderson was playing second base or whatever it is. And they were like gods. They were like television characters like Tony Soprano or Scooby-Doo. It's it doesn't even, they're not real people. They don't actually exist in the world. And yet there they are at a moment like this. And it was really something else. I absolutely loved it. And it was a thrill to be included in something like that.
I think it's so different because for me, one of the cool experiences that I had when I was, starting my radio career, and I was a huge fan of Big Boy.
Yeah.
Right. And getting to work with him and be around him, that was really cool for me. And I remember, and I think Briones was there when this happened, where we were at a dub show and he was getting, he had social media was starting to be a thing. Right. And they were interviewing him for something, whatever. And there's a crowd, and he kind of looks at me and points at me, and I'm like, oh crap, what did I do? Right. And he's like, I'm so sorry, love. And he goes and says hi to me, and Briones.
He stopped an interview. He was doing an interview. He stopped
literally stopped the interview to go and say hi. Mind you, I was an intern. I wasn't
That's
anybody. And just having people like that you looked up to, that you're this is who I aspire to be a little bit was really, really cool. And Briones, him and I have known each other for so long that he was there and he saw that. He was like, dude, that's bleeping awesome.
That's really cool.
But also, now being in the sports side of things, I always have to pinch myself.
Oh, yeah.
Because as a Laker fan, Michael Thompson, all right, I was born in 88, so it's not like I saw him play, but I know what he meant. Shut up. I meant, what he meant for that organization, for the Lakers and John Ireland. So knowing, those people are on my phone, and I call Michael my Theo Michael. And sometimes when I'm yeah, Michael, da-da-da, and then they're like, wait, you mean Thompson? I forget.
Yeah, it's
right?
cool.
And it's really cool. I was telling you, Trav, just very briefly, when we saw Clayton Kershaw at Rams camp, and it was such a brief, I want to say maybe 60-second interaction that I had with him, and I won't go into depth about it, but that was cool. I know Greg had his moment, and even with him and him saying what he said, I was like, oh, damn, he's just a regular dude. He wasn't. And
out there with his kids, just
so cool.
enjoying the day. Yeah, it's
not like Usher.
No,
always go back to that.
There are guys on the other side of that equation too. We've all run into them. I had one other moment I'll tell you guys about in just 1 second. Straight Up is sponsored by Blue Ice Vodka, made from Idaho potatoes and pristine Teton water for a smoother, creamier, cleaner cocktail with no sugar and just 64 calories per ounce. Look for Blue Ice wherever you shop for spirits. Blue Ice Vodka, pure as the Tetons. Marcus, you, me, Laura, we all talk for a living, right? And how long did it take you to get used to the sound of your own voice?
It took a good year or so.
Yeah.
I forced myself when I would drive from USC back home to the Bay Area. I'm like, I'm going to be in this car for 6 hours. I'm just going to put this tape in. I'm going to force myself to do it.
Listen to it and go through it, right? And it takes a minute to where you're like, okay, that's just how I sound. Yeah. It is what it is. And you come to accept it. And then you go to something like this today. And you're like, that's Bob Costas. He sounds like that. Oh, hey, Steven Nelson. Oh, I don't sound like that. Oh, Joe David. I don't sound like that. And then Jaime Herrin, 93 years old, goes up there and sounds as smooth and as confident and just perfect as he always does. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't like the sound of my own voice anymore. It's like there's just one heavy hitter after the next. It was really, really something else. And Jaime Herrin, 93 years old. And
He's amazing.
He is an amazing guy.
He has a spunk about him, too.
He has life. He's got
so much life.
Yeah, he gave a great speech about Oral today as well. Finishing off a little shop talk coming up next.
Yes, sir.
Little shop talk live from Morongo Casino. It is the Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Up coming up in just a little bit. And Marcus is going to teach me how to do a little fantasy football draft. And quarterbacks late, tight ends kind of middle. We'll figure it out from there. It's coming up next. It's DeMarco and Trav, 710 ESPN.
You never know what you're going to get when you wake up with Sedano and Cap.
Like, how much could you really love the Lakers if you flipped it like a property?
Right. I mean, this was a business transaction. This was not about where your heart is. And that's what Mark Walter seemingly did. He flipped the Lakers. Wasn't married to the Lakers.
Yeah.
It was an investment.
It's the morning show with Sedano and Cap. Weekdays starting at 7 a.m. on ESPN LA.
Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings, a spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed and fiery. Chili Crisp. That's our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. Get them today, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Being a sports fan in Los Angeles can be unpredictable. Your ice cream shouldn't be. For over 80 years, Thrifty has delivered the exact same legendary experience, right down to our signature cylindrical scoop. It's the brand this city was raised on, and the easiest call you'll make on game day. Skip the debate. Just grab the carton everyone already agrees on. Thrifty Ice Cream, a California classic. Available at most major retailers.
When's the last time payroll was the easy part of your week? With Gusto, it can be. Gusto is the all-in-one platform designed to take the hassle out of managing your team, from payroll and compliance to hiring, onboarding, and more. With Gusto, you can get back 2 full days each month with all the time you've saved. Go to gusto.com today and learn why over 500,000 small businesses choose Gusto. That's GUSTO.com. Gusto.com.
Do you read more about your team in the off-season than in the season? Does your game day outfit include a brown bag with eye holes? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected. Because seeing your painted face in the rearview mirror after a loss isn't just depressing. It's distracting. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. New episodes available now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Wendy here. Are you looking to rebound from your high-interest credit card debt? A SoFi personal loan could help. Consolidate your debt with a SoFi personal loan into one low monthly payment, and you could save money on interest over time. And with as soon as the same day funding, you could hit the ground running ASAP. Apply today with no fees required at SoFi.com/debt rebound. Loans originated by SoFi Bank. NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debt rebound.
And it is a special edition of the DeMarco and Travis Afternoon Show. Today, it's Travis along with Marcus Grant, the fantasy guru. We are live from the Fantasy Football Face-Off at Morongo Resort Casino and Spa. Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Let's head back to Travis and Marcus right now on ESPN LA.
All right, Marcus, a little shop talk before we get into our fantasy football face-off, which is coming up after the show. A little birthday, 64th birthday for John Slattery. Are you a Roger Sterling fan?
I am a Roger Sterling fan. Exactly. He might have been the best part of Sterling, Cooper, Draper, Price.
He was my favorite male character on that show.
Yeah,
like the women on that show, I found they were the most interesting because of the different things that they got to do in that show and the arcs that they all had. Different. Betty's arc was different than Peggy's and everything else, but Roger Sterling was deeply interesting and incredibly funny.
Yes, because Roger Sterling, he had the most don't give a bleep, I think, of anybody, of any of the male characters on that show.
And he had incredible rich guy energy. You know what I mean? Like just like I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go drink my 4 martinis at lunch and eat my oysters and then not understand why not everybody else is having a great day.
Right.
You know, that's like that level of even when I'm having a great day because I have the world handed to me on a silver platter, we're just going to go from there. All right, next one. Alfred Hitchcock was born on this day in 1899. That feels like 500 years ago.
That was forever ago.
You have a favorite Hitchcock?
It's a toss-up between Psycho and Vertigo.
Oh, Vertigo's good.
Vertigo's really, really good.
Yeah. Did you ever see Psycho, Laura?
I seen parts of it, and
that part?
that's all I remember.
Yeah. You don't remember the big reveal at the end?
No.
Oh,
my gosh.
Reveal Magnifico? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, even though the movie is
70 years old.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I won't.
See, I'm also like really bad at seeing movies like that. I hate you. Because even like my niece started watching The Punisher and like you know how he's breaking bones and doing all this stuff. I was like this like I watch movies or things like that like this, so I miss half the things.
Well, like Psycho is by modern standard not gory at all.
It's not.
For the time, it might have been considered moderately gory, but it's the suspense, it's the buildup, it's the tension of not knowing what's going to happen,
and then the big reveal at the end.
The big reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been like you know how you go to the what is it called? Okay, it'll come back to me.
All right, it'll come back to you.
Let me Google
National Filet Mignon Day, Marcus.
All right, I can get down with some
filet mignon. When was the last time you had a filet?
Oh, it's probably been a minute, actually.
Yeah. What's your preferred cut?
I am, if I'm really splurging, I'm probably a porterhouse guy.
Oh, can you eat a whole porterhouse?
Maybe not anymore. Maybe in my younger days.
That is an enormous cut of steak.
That's a lot of meat. Yeah. Younger me probably could have taken
I used to be a New York strip guy because I liked the texture of it and had that fat and it was all good. But now filet is it's the only I can only eat that.
Yeah.
And I need the little petite one.
Yeah, I remember being tricked into thinking a T-bone was worthwhile, but you're paying for bone that you're not going to eat.
Yeah. Best side when you go to a place that's giving you that perfectly cooked steak. What's the thing you got to have on the side? I'm taking potatoes off the board because everybody wants potatoes.
A good creamed spinach.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. That's it. That's the correct answer. You and I can go to dinner together. We can share the creamed spinach along the way. Anybody at this table left-handed?
I am not.
No, DeMarco is though.
DeMarco's kind of ambidextrous. You watch, he does different things like. When he writes, he uses his left hand. When he shoots baskets in our bullpen, he shoots them right-handed.
Okay.
The back lot. That's what I was like thinking of with the Psycho.
Oh yeah.
I was like Universal back. I was like, what is the word?
Yeah.
The back lot.
When was the last time you went on the Universal Cities studio
Last year.
Really?
Well, we did it for when we went to Halloween Horror Night.
Oh, was it fun?
I love it.
Yeah.
If they want to invite me again, let's go. I'll take Punchy and he'll be like, again.
Maybe the last year or two.
Oh, you've been recently too.
Relatively recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I'm obviously in the minority.
It's still mostly the same. They've added a couple things, but it's mostly the same thing that you remember.
It's been at least 40 years and maybe 45 for me.
I mean, there's still Jaws. There's still the Psycho House.
They do the Jaws still
They still do the Jaws thing.
I love that. I love that. I've seen those barrels go down.
Yeah.
The house, like to me, for whatever reason, I'm like, I get the heebie-jeebies when I go around.
Yeah, you've seen the whole movie.
Yeah. National Prosecco Day. Yes, please.
Sure.
Do you like the
Mignon?
Sure.
I do. Anything that has liquor, I'm pretty much good with.
My mom is not a big drinker at all, but she loves Bellinis.
They're good.
That's the go-to for my mom.
Hi,
Today,
Kevin.
That's right. Did you know my mother's name is Kevin?
I did not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. One Kevin, one female Kevin in the world, and that's her. 1942. This is not the Feather movie. This is they shoot the mom in the opening scene movie. Bambi came out in 1942.
I don't think I've seen the whole movie ever. I mean, I know that part, but I don't
you judge me for Psycho?
I've never seen all of Bambi. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the gist of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you've got the gist of it. But so you have your son is 7?
Yes.
Is he still in the midst of his Disney phase?
Oh yeah, he's very much in the middle of it.
And so you have not run through if you run through the classics like Dumbo, Cinderella, Snow White,
King.
all of those.
We've done some of the old ones: Dumbo, Cinderella, like Sleeping Beauty,
Snow White.
Snow White. We've watched. He's kind of. I've turned on Bambi, and he kind of wanders out of the room, so I don't think that's really hooked him. Lion King, absolutely.
The Goofy movie?
That's newer, but I've seen it. He hasn't seen that. And then the Toy Story movies. Of
course.
Has he seen Dumbo?
He has seen Dumbo.
Dumbo's weird.
Yes.
Like,
yes, because there's that whole hallucinogenic thing.
He's
in the middle.
hammered.
Yeah.
And he's seeing things.
Seeing like pink elephants and stuff. Like he really it gets really weird.
Alice in Wonderland.
I remember the first time I'd heard the phrase, "Oh, he's seeing pink elephants." I knew it meant altered.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where it had come from. And then as an adult, I'm showing Dumbo to my kids. I'm like, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Now I understand. Pink elephants means the elephant's wasted. Today, okay, here's one I did not know. 1969, the Apollo 11 astronauts were released from a 3-week quarantine to enjoy a ticker tape parade in New York City.
I didn't know that, but immediately I read that, like, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, you don't know what they brought back.
No, I knew there was a quarantine, but I thought it was like a couple of days. I didn't think it was 3 weeks. Like, this is going to sound stupid, but you would think, like, the enthusiasm for the landing would have, like, that happened 3 weeks ago. Like, think about how fast we move on from things now. Like, hold your enthusiasm for 3 weeks. We'll come back to it in 3 weeks along the way. Congratulations to Neil Armstrong. The 1982 Fast Times at Ridgemont High was released in movie theaters.
That drunk and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
That's Animal House.
That is Animal House.
That's Animal
House.
House.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
What's it? No shirt, no shoes, no service.
No shirt, no serves, no service. And that movie, I think, was the first movie I ever saw on cable TV.
Wow.
Like that my grandmother had cable before I had cable. My family had cable, and when we'd go to visit my grandmother, we would sneak into her back room because, I don't know if it was HBO or whatever it was at the time, but, after 8 o'clock, they would show R-rated movies.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's like my brother and I would sneak back there and hope that something would come on, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High came on. We're like, this is where it's at.
Is that Sean Penn's first movie?
I don't think it was his first one, but it was one of his first
ones. It was early.
He's great in that movie, too, along the way. Big moment in professional football history in 1986. USFL standout Herschel Walker signs to play with the Cowboys of the NFL. You think we will ever see a legitimately viable second professional football league in this country? Because the USFL, for a brief moment of time, was.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the NFL has swallowed everything whole. That I don't think there's space for that. I guess if you love, like, the UFL and all these other kind of secondary leagues, that's fine, but they will never come close to competing.
The thing, I always kind of had I agree with you, but I'm like, let's see what happens next. When Live launched and basically did what the USFL did, was they went and found a bunch of rich guys and said, we're just going to take the best players. Like, you're going to have to go and watch this because Herschel Walker, Steve Young, Reggie White, Doug Flutie, like all of these guys coming out of college, like, what do you mean Reggie White's not going to the NFL? What do you mean Jim Kelly's not coming? Like, what's this league? They had really good players. They had really good coaches. And then they moved it to the fall, and that was the end of that. Like, when they kept it in the spring, it was kind of cooking for a minute.
Yeah. Maybe it has to be a spring league, if nothing else.
Yeah, I did not know this happened in 2013. Google suffered an outage for 5 minutes. World internet traffic dropped by 40%.
They might be doing us a favor nowadays.
It's pretty good business if you've got 40% of the internet. Not a bad way to do it. Marcus, we made it through another one. Morongo Fantasy Football Face-Off. We're going to go do that. We got a little Angels baseball coming up against the Rangers right here on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Oral Hershiser. Can you believe I have my name on a building? I can't, but I'm grateful and I'm humbled. And here in Chino at